And welcome to the Road to the NHC, the weekly show that's your ticket to the 2025 National Horse Players Championship in Las Vegas, Nevada. Each week, we're going to dive in to the world of online tournament play, showing you how to navigate through both feeders as well as qualifiers. My partner for the Road to the NHC is 2022 NHC champion, David Harrison. My man, what is going on?
Good day, mate.
Good day.
Good day. Okay. So I purposely did that opening. It's usually TGIFF.
Yeah.
And my grandson, who's here, said, Papa, that TGIFF, I know what that means. So I said, oops. I said, what does it mean? I don't know if you can say that. He goes, thank God it's funny. It's Funny Friday. So I'm like, okay. So, but we did the good day, mate, because of the information I found out about you that I didn't know previously, that you've spent time in Australia.
I spent a full-on month. Went everywhere. I mean, Perth out west. Everywhere. Had the best time, and yeah, it's amazing. They love horse racing out there. There's like 350 racetracks out there.
350.
Oh yeah, and they're where like the young people are suiting up, and you can they've got the regular tote, but they also have books there where you can line up and you can see what odds. If you like a horse in a race, you can go, okay, I think I'll go with that one. That one's 8-1. I can get 9-1 here. So that's pretty neat as well. So we're looking to take EquinEdge down there for sure, right? And have racing from Australia.
Hey, if there's 350 tracks, I heard the weather is great. Australia is gorgeous. What am I doing in the United States of America right now? Let's get something going in Australia. I'd be your Australian. Now, did you do TVG coverage when you're in Australia?
No. I went down there for a month just to. It was for my metals company, but then we went to I didn't go to the Melbourne Cup, which is that's like a big deal. That's like the Kentucky Derby down there. People really get into that, and we were in Brisbane and stuff like that. But it's just super cool. I mean, also I went to an American Football League game, the Australian Football League game. The AFL, that is sick. It's like rugby but faster. And, right.
As a matter of fact, I'm glad you brought that up, because one of the Saturday shows I brought that up on the stretch run. And I said last winter, I was just channel surfing early on a Sunday morning. And I'm like, what the hell is this on ESPN Plus or whatever it was? And I'm like, holy shit, this is fantastic. I don't know the rules, but it looked like a mix of like 4 different games and could not figure it out. But it was very, very entertaining. I'm like, this is great. This might be my new sport.
Yeah, no, it's so much fun. Believe me, if you can get connected to watching that, I don't know if there's a channel available here in the States to watch that, but you won't regret it. It's fun. And we went to a game there in Melbourne. The weather's crazy in Melbourne. Like literally it could be 85 degrees 1 minute and 2 hours later it's 45 degrees. And
really?
Oh yeah, it's crazy weather there. But Melbourne was really cool. Really enjoyed that as well. Sydney was great, of course, and but the Gold Coast, the water is beautiful. It's really, really neat. But I highly suggest going down there. We really enjoyed our time down there.
Is that about a 14-hour flight?
15 hours, I believe, if I remember correctly. Yeah, about 15 hours. I want to give a shout out to Dave Weaver and everybody that watched the show on Wednesday. Between YouTube and Twitter, we had 900 and change concurrent people watching that show. So evidently Dave has a big following, and he was great. Dave's just got this personality. He's a gambler. He is who he is. I was telling the story maybe last week about when I first went on TVG. He's wearing a jacket and a tie. And then I look down below the desk and he's got sandals and shorts on. Like he's just, that's Dave. You want to, if there's one person you want to go to Vegas with, it's Dave Weaver.
Well, that's what I was just going to say. We brought him up on the Stretch Run show this past Saturday. And I'll say, I didn't want to disclose too much information, but I would say Dave is a lot of fun in Vegas. I saw him at the NHC in the evenings, and he's so different from the evening to then I'm thinking, based on our conversation at the bar in the hotel, And I don't think he remembered it the next morning, but my first thought was, there's no way he's doing interviews tomorrow morning at the NHC.
Yeah,
It's 30 a.m. Eastern time, 9:30, 10 o'clock Vegas time. Yeah, he is, reversed. He is up there with a suit on, a tie, and he looks like he's really in good shape. So I'm like, he is fun. He's a maniac, and he's a good guy. So
he is a maniac. That reminds me of a story. It's not related to anything, but I'd love to tell the story. So I had this customer back in the day, and this guy was like 6'8". I'm 6'3". And most of the time, guys that are taller aren't used to people being taller than them, and it's kind of awkward. And then I meet him, and I'm like looking up, and it's just it's a weird sensation to look up at somebody that's taller than you when you're 6'3", but it's just strange nonetheless. And his name was Greg, and he had the best personality, happy-go-lucky, and he loved to tie one on. I mean, he would drink, and we go to Vegas, and we're supposed to go golfing. There's a limo picking us all up. There was 8 of us at 9 in the morning, and he's nowhere to be seen all night long. There's nowhere in the hotel room. We had a big suite where all of us were staying. The suite was literally 17,000 square feet. There was 6 rooms, 2 stories, an elevator in it. It was just, and everyone was staying in that room. We were having the best time. Butlers were taking care of us, and we had the best time. And he's not there, and I'm like, where the hell is Greg? And again, he's this one happy-go-lucky, patting you on the back, and then all of a sudden he comes in. The limousine's leaving in 5 minutes, and he walks in at literally 8:30, and it's about a half hour to the golf course. And he walks in, and he's laughing and smiling, and I look at him. I'm thinking he's going straight to bed. And he walks in, and I'm like, Greg, and he looks at me all inquisitive. What? Because I was all serious, and I'm like, and I go, are you not golfing? And he looks at me, and he goes, I'm not.
Oh, that's
and we went, and he golfed, and he drank on every hole, and he had the energy. I just still to this day, it's one of my favorite stories. Honestly, you had to be there, but it was just.
Yeah, I hear sometimes these lines are priceless, right? When you're partying with friends.
It just, I mean, so many of the times you have to be there, but if you could try to picture, it was just, and he's just this big old teddy bear, 6'8", and he comes over, and I'm a pretty strong guy, and he comes over and just gives me a hug and squeezes me, and I'm like, you're hurting me, dude. You're hurting me.
He didn't have a tiger in the bathroom, did he?
Yeah, no.
Okay.
Hey, what's up, Wiz? What's up, Santana,
Hey,
Eric, and Callie? What's going on,
Eric,
Mike?
Callie.
What's up, Dave? Dave's in Japan right now.
Dave's in
so
Japan.
envious. Yep, he's in Japan. He's enjoying all the races over there, and that's got to be on the bucket list somewhere. David?
Yeah, I think I don't like flying that long, so I think I'll pass on that. But I would love to go, but I don't feel comfortable yet. I'm not a big flyer that long. I get kind of anxious. Yeah, basically, if I can do 4, 5, 6 hours, that's about it for me. So if we can stop after 5 or 6 hours somewhere, and then
I'm not sure it works that way. I mean, you could do like 4 or 5 layovers if you wanted.
Yes, exactly. I'll make it in 2 weeks. So
yeah, exactly. See you in 2 weeks.
I'll have fun
in case you're new to the show, the theme of this show is to teach you how to get into tournament play. You gotta register and sign up. It's $50 a year at the ntra.com, and then you become a member of the tour, and you get points and things like this. But you can also join the feeders. Now, the feeder today, and I'll show it to you, is races 1 through 3. This is what it looks like. Now, this is horseplayers.com. There's also horsetourneys.com, and they're related, but at the top here, you'll see Aqueduct races 1 through 3 and Gulfstream Park races 1 through 3. So 6 total races for a fee of $18. You click on here, you buy it. And now for $18, you can put in your picks. You have to put in 1 pick and 1 alternate pick in case your pick gets scratched. And then if your alternate pick gets scratched, you go to the betting favorite. But then if you get enough points and you're in like the what is it, the top 10%,
David, 10% on Friday feeder,
okay.
Correct? Yeah.
So, and if you're there, then you actually now qualify for what's called the qualifier, and that's $75, but you don't have to pay for that. So, and we're going to help you, and we're going to handicap each of these feeder races and help you to get into the qualifier. Feel free to ask questions and get involved in the show. I can tell you that the energy and the accuracy of our handicapping goes way up when you guys are involved in the chat. So, and then we're going to, once we handicap these feeder races, we're going to start handicapping the qualifying races, and these are them. Let's look at those. So you can see right here, Gulfstream Park races 6, 8, and 9, and then it goes to Aqueduct. Of course, we've got races 7 and 8 and 9, and then Del Mar races. So 3 different tracks. We'll cover those races as well. We're going to have a hell of a lot of fun and enjoying the 2022 NHC champ right there. That's David Harrison. If you're not sure what he did, he won the 2022 National Horse Players Championship, which is just impossible to do. And he did it. It's basically the NHC scoring system rewards calculated risk taking. David, would you say, right? You players earn points based on a mythical $2, and of course, it's strategic, but meaning the biggest payouts, the better chance you have of winning.
Yeah, and the key that I found to my success, and don't forget, I followed it up 2 years later with a victory on Silver Sunday. So it wasn't, again, I felt it might have been a fluke the first time. It's like, wow, anybody, but it's just amazing to, follow it up with another tournament score in Vegas. But I think the key to my success over those 2 years was realizing that you've got to look for value, and then in optional races, and then mandatories. My viewpoint is, or my strategy would be, just pick a winner if it seems likely and move on. Even if it's a 2-to-1 shot and you think this horse can't lose, don't be afraid, because you really got to look for value sometimes when people aren't looking for value. And I've played cap horses in mandatory races in 8-horse fields because I think they're live. And so it's about all looking for, looking for value. You might get a chalky card on a Friday there. I think last year we did. So then you change your viewpoint a little bit and your mindset. But overall, you've got to have some price horses, to me. Now, I know there's some other horse players who I've heard on podcasts who like to just crank it out and pick winners. But I think it's harder to get there that way. I agree. I think it's more likely if you're going to grind out with winners, like saying, okay, I'm playing 5-2, 3-1, 4-1 all day long because I just want to pick winners, or 8-5 and try to pick as many as possible. You might have a better chance to just make the cut and, pick up some kind of cashola. But as far as getting to the final table, and in my opinion, at least, you need to get value. And you got to hit a couple of bombs here or there, or $30 horses, or even, long shots that come in second and you get your $22 cap payoff for place. So, so the key is value in my eyes.
The problem with that strategy is that you can get a 2-to-1, a 5-2, a 4-to-1, right? And you have to be so accurate. You can't afford to miss those races. And even if you hit 3 or 4 of them, and then somebody comes with a $30 horse or a cap horse, and you're immediately behind, so it's very, very difficult to just sit there and take favorites. Now, you don't want a long shot. You have to like the long shot.
Exactly.
You have to feel like I think part of liking a long shot is also not necessarily liking the favorites. Wouldn't you agree?
Right. The way that I've approached it the last couple of years is I handicap every race, or basically go through every race, and I look for vulnerable favorites, especially favorites that are going to be off a long layoff, will look like they have such a class edge, but they're off a 1.5-year layoff and coming back in a race that's, this is a little salty here. This horse at 2-5, I don't even think, this horse probably needs a race. That's the type of race you look for. You're looking for, and also and it's totally different than live money. For instance, you might think as first day on Friday at the NHC, you might say, I love this horse, can't lose. And he's 5-2. That's fine. You can only put $2 win place on it. You can't put 200 win place on it and exhaust your bankroll saying, okay, now I took advantage of my best bet of the day and catapulted up the lead. It doesn't work like that. So it's hard to piece that many logical horses together. You're looking for races that that looks like they're could produce chaos. Okay. And that would be a 12-horse field on a turf going 2 turns, maidens. Like, I would normally never play this race, but I'm like, okay, well, let's look for somebody who may be live here. So that's.
And maybe lastly, before we get handicapping, is you can explain the mental and physical endurance it takes. Like, it's an intense 3 days requiring not only sharp handicapping skills, but also the mental and physical stamina, because the fatigue is real. It's like, because you start getting fatigued and your critical thinking goes away. Like, you start getting brain fog, things like that. How did you maintain that when you won in 2022? How did you maintain that sharpness?
Well, again, the first couple of years I was there, I realized how quick this goes, how many tracks, how many races, and it just got overwhelming. Like, I had no plan the first couple of years. It was like, okay, yeah, I'm a good handicapper. I'll just handicap the race. And you realize one race is going off at Fairgrounds and one race is going off at Oaklawn a minute later. And you're like, oh, shit, I like the 3-horse at Oaklawn. I missed it. So prior to 2022, I made a list of all the races, weeded out, what races that looked like playable races, what races are X'd out that I'm not even going to consider. So I had a plan of what races I thought were NHC races. And a lot of those races ended up being mandatory. So then you have to move on to so it was basically A races, B races, C races, or X races. X is, I'm not playing. C, probably not. And, so then I know the races. So I don't have to, if something's coming up at Golden Gate race 5, I'm like, that's not on my list. I'm not playing. So you
actually identified, so you looked at all the races that were available to play that weren't mandatory, and you looked at all those, and then you knew which races you were interested in playing and not?
Yes. So I had a list beforehand each day. And the overwhelming part, Scotty, and anybody who's been there realizes it's so many races, and you've got to just keep mentally sharp. And it's hard to do. By Sunday, if especially if you're there in contention, your head starts, so many races, so many horses you're looking at. And if you play the first chance, last chance on, which I've done before on Thursday, so it's Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. By Sunday, you get mentally drained. It's like working overtime, 12, 14 hours a day for 4 consecutive days, because I'm doing work at night. And you also want to do a little partying, obviously, in Vegas. But yeah, it's a draining thing, but it's fun. It's fun, but it's easy to get distracted.
It is, and I'll say this. Lastly, I'll say this, and that is, I wasn't prepared. Meaning this, I shot my wad, if you will, early, right? So I handicapped as we were going along, and then there was 10, 15 races left, and all of a sudden I realized that I actually liked a few horses there, but I had already put in all my plays. Right. So you get 18 plays, and I had none left. And so I think that's why it's important, but it requires a lot more work to look through all those races and see which ones you're interested in, where it's a lot easier to sit there when the event starts and then you just go race by race by race, and you're looking as it's going along. There's probably, if you really want to have a realistic chance of winning, you need to do some preparation work.
Right. And I think with myself, and I can't speak for all horse players, everybody's wired a little differently, right? But with me, the key is with success in any tournament is preparation. I just can't wing it, because it's not like saying, okay, what do you want to do at 11:30? Let's go to the track today. And it's like, okay, let me pick up a form at the gate or whatever. I haven't looked at it, and then start handicapping there. You can do that with one track, right? But there's like 7 or 8 tracks, and races going off, people yelling and screaming, people at your table are talking to you. And, I'm a social guy, so I do have a lot of interaction. But I think it's easier to stay focused when you're doing well, right? Because on Sunday, when you're in competition and you're there and the money on the line, you can stay focused because the adrenaline starts going. Yeah. But, you still I have to tell you, when I was each year leaving the NHC on Monday on the plane, I'm thinking, I don't want to look at horses or races for at least another week or 2, because you're so burnt out. So, I think one of the things is going in fresh, for me at least. I take like a 2-week break before the NHC. Don't look at anything. I watch all my replays well before that. So I like to go in fresh and like, okay, let's open it up. It's Thursday. Let's first chance and last chance. How's this game work? But I do a lot of work on a plane, weeding out the races in a day in advance, what races I'm playing, what races I'm probably not.
Yeah, I think that's good advice. I think this, next year in March, I think what I'm going to do at least is kind of wean through them and go, I know I don't like this race. At least if I know the races that I'm not interested in, that'll also make things slow down in my brain a little bit, right? I'm like, because there's a lot going on all at once. Sometimes you've got 3 tracks coming up within 5 minutes of each other, and it's important to be and not to have that brain fog. So
yeah, and also just quickly, it's a big social thing now for me too, because years ago I used to be the guy in these tournament rooms at Aqueduct or whatever track, Saratoga. Nobody knew who I was. I used to sit in the corner and just be by myself. I didn't have a lot of horse player friends that I hadn't met until the NHC. I started qualifying, and but once you have some moment of success, right? It's like you're running into everybody. I know like hundreds of handicappers that I've talked to. I like to, horse players are a great crowd. So it's like a convention. So I socialize too and try to also, that's why it's important for me pre-entering that room to have a plan. So, I don't want to be, standoffish. Hey, it's NHC champ. Can we interview you? It's like, sure. It's an honor for me to do these interviews. So it's once you get some success, as even Matt will tell you, that you end up having a little more distractions. We'll try welcome. So if you see me at the NHC next year, feel free to walk up to me. Don't worry. I'm going to entertain you at least maybe after the race that I'm playing, we'll chat. So.
Well, Matt Miller, one of the great ones. Yeah,
exactly.
It's great. It's amazing, honestly, to have Matt on and also using EquinEdge now too is really neat. It makes me proud, honestly, because I started with these ideas literally almost 20 years ago, and to have people like Matt that's so talented is really neat. And so it drives, part of that drives me to work very hard to continue to introduce new things, new tools, make sure the site is strong and runs good. So yeah, thank you.
And again, this was always a dream of mine back in the day. It's like I can handicap on shows. I can do that. And so again, I always appreciate so much that EquinEdge and you giving me the opportunity to be on the show. That's fantastic. I'm just happy.
That's true. It's so funny, Matt, you just said that, because I was talking to Anna, my fiance, a couple of days ago, and I said, what makes me the most proud to break into horse racing as it is, and to be one of the top systems that people are using, and believe me, we aren't even close to done, is really hard to do. And from that perspective, it's been a lot of like sweat and hard work, and of course, money as well. And but thank you, Matt. I appreciate it. I tell people, and I'll say this, and we have about 23 minutes to handicap. I handicapped 1, 2, and 3 of Aqueduct, so I think we'll be pretty fast because I know you're ready. Right?
I'm always ready.
I know you are. Let's just get to it. That's fine. Let's do this. Let me run the race and go ahead and start with what you're thinking here.
Okay. Well, we're starting off with race 1 at the Big A, and just announced we got a track condition change. Is sloppy track, so that does change a little bit. And I will say 3 words to start the show, brother: dirt, dirt, dirt. We have Aqueduct, all dirt races. We actually have a bunch of dirt races at Gulfstream. So not so many Tapeta, and so no more turf. And
the weather here, David, is phenomenal in Florida. Phenomenal. Yeah.
Don't make me jealous. Because it's 42 degrees here and pouring, and it's not a great day. So
here, I'm looking at my phone right now. It's 67 degrees here right now. How is it is, and it's not a cloud in the sky. Absolutely stunning. It is just incredible.
That's it. I'm leaving. I'm going to get my flight. I'll see you. Southwest leaves in 2 hours.
What are you doing? Listen, we have a spare bedroom for you.
Okay.
But okay, listen, I'm just going to come straight up. I don't think we need to spend too much time on this. I don't know. The 6 horses getting overbet in my mind. That's just my opinion. We're talking about capital spending. You can't ignore the horse, but the GSR is low. How are you going to catch the 2 horses going to have a clear lead here? I don't know how fast the 3 is the first time started with Pratt, but Granadilla, I think, is gonna be really tough, and it's probably gonna be too much for these, I think.
Yeah, and again, I keep bringing up this topic about the EE metric. When you have a pace metric of 79 in a field where the next highest is 57, you get about a 20 or 25 point spread. That's a very, very solid success rate for those horses who have such a pace advantage. However, not so fast, my friend. I certainly don't trust this horse going 7 furlongs. This horse, this is a practical joke. I mean, this horse has been 95% of the races are 6 furlongs. Off of a layoff, the horse did stretch out. She stretched out to 7, showed a little pace, but it was a slow pace. I checked the first fraction was 23-1. And the horse still couldn't hold on and got caught in only a 5-horse field. So I still don't trust this horse, but easily could go wire to wire. I mean, in these maiden claimers, maiden special weight, New York State bred. I mean, what I'm usually looking for is a lightly raced horse or a horse cutting back. Now, capital spending, I don't know what to do with, Scotty. This horse is strictly a turf horse, but does qualify on the cutback from the a mile race and a mile 16th turf race, now cutting back to dirt. We don't know what this horse is going to be on the dirt, right? Nice work on November 16th, but I still have a concern, but I will use that horse if I had 2 tickets on one of my tickets. So to me, capital spending is a must use for me, but the lack of speed is an issue for me. But the other horse that I'm interested in, that I'm ultimately going to land on here, is 5 Blue Suede Sioux. Not a cutback. She had one race on the dirt and didn't really fire, but I give 1 race to every horse starting their career. That doesn't bother me. Had a layoff, goes to turf, bump start. We don't know what this horse is. And the Nyquist can probably dirt. So I think this horse is live. So looking for a little value, I went with a 5-year over the 6. Blue Suede Sioux over capital spending.
I can completely understand why you'd go with the 5 for value. No doubt about it. I agree. It's lightly raced. But that being said, for me, I question this horse's stamina. It's, losing ground badly in the first couple of starts. The horse like this has got to prove it to me first. There's no indicators for me that are showing any kind of signs like all of a sudden this horse is going to run. Although the workouts aren't bad, but look, that horse on October 10th actually had, was second of 58 and didn't run like the workout. So I'm kind of leaning against the horse. I don't love taking a horse like the 2, but if I get 8-5 or 2-1 on the 2 horse, I don't mind it, considering the 6 is in here and the 3 is in here, and those are getting action. So we might get a decent price on this horse. I think this horse has too much speed for these. It has burned a little bit of money. I get it. But it's going to clear here. And I think it'll be a softer pace going 7/8 here. And the horse dueled last time out from the rail, David. And that's the thing I like about it. And I don't think it's dueling here. I don't think anybody's even near as fast. So the horse will probably get a little bit of a breather early, and I think it'll be tough to beat. So
right. Don't get me wrong. I'm big on speed. I'm a speed player. So, this horse can easily be long. She can be long gone. But I just don't trust her at the distance. I just have that feeling. And I also think the 1 could be live. This horse has raced 2 back at 7. It had a nice second. And that horse is right now 9-1. And the first time starter, the 3 catchphrase, to me could be live also. So, but my I guess objective or my strategy be looking for a little value in this race. So I think it's going to be chalky the rest of the picks.
Kratz aboard the 3-horse catchphrase, and the workouts are really good, but they're on synthetic. And over at Turfway Park, and now over here on the dirt, GSRs aren't really that great, but it does come here with a nice win percentage. And in a race like this, where the 6-horse has a lot to prove, the 5-horse has a lot to prove, the 1-horse has a lot to prove, the 2-horse has a lot to prove, maybe we're looking at this all wrong. And this horse is 5-2 right now. It's 7-5 on the EE morning line. Maybe we should be going with the fresh face, the 3. Dave said, that they scratched this horse out of a race yesterday to run here. Maybe it's really all about the 3 horse. If I had 2 tickets, I think I would do the 2 and the 3. That speed on the 2 is just so fast, but it has burned some money. I don't know. For me, it'd be the 2 or 3, and it'd be a last minute decision. All right, let's go.
And for me, it's a 5 or 6 or a last minute decision. So,
okay,
totally different pages. All right, okay. Race 2 makes it pretty easy, right? It's scratched down to a 4-horse field, right? Yep. Well, Stonewall Star is out, and unfortunately, that would have been my top pick of the day, actually of the feeders. And if we look at the race here, you've got a pretty classy filly, a mare, in Chi-Town Lady with no speed. They're going a mile, optional claimer for 80. And it looks like a big pace advantage for the 3, St. Benedict's Prep.
Yeah, I'm on the 3. I mean, the only competition in the race for the 3 is the 4 horse, and the 4 is going to be well behind. But the 4 horse also is dropping, I think, 10 points in GSR, which is, not helpful in any way. So I have to, let's see, is it 59? Yeah, 10 points in GSR. Now, it appears that the 4 horse is the class of the field. It's been racing against better. But that being said, the one race it won was a non-gridded stakes race, 74 SOR. So we can get caught up in the 82s and that, but lost against 4 other horses here at Saratoga that was a 74. It just got outworked really badly by a horse. It was a nice horse, but got outworked badly. I think it's going to be very, very tough to catch this 3 horse who has won 3 races in the last 5.
Right, and also let's remember that it is a sloppy track, so it'll be interesting to see how the track's playing, because sometimes if there's a lot of water at the Big A, it can favor closers. And when it starts drying out and they seal it, it's more speed favor. So these first couple of races are probably going to tell us a lot, but I'm going to try to be another wise guy here, Scotty.
Okay.
I'm just tired of getting beaten by the 5 Movie Moxie. I mean, this horse is a game mare. She's 7 years old. If you look at her record at the distance, 14 starts. She's hit the board 12 times. The only worry I have about her is 1 for 13 in the win column at Aqueduct with 6 seconds. But if you look at her last race, 1 1/8 miles, she's not a 1 1/8 miles horse, in my opinion. She cuts back to 1 mile, second race off a layoff. Linda Rice, you're getting the 3rd choice with Jose Lizcano. So give me a little value again, and not going to be a lot. 7-2. I guess I'm going to figure 7-2, 4-1 at post time. So yeah, give me Movie Moxie over St. Benedict's Prep. I'm not sold on Chi-Town Lady.
All right, 5 horse for David. All right, race number 3. We've got 14 minutes. We have to have our feeders in. I'm on the 1 horse. She's cool. I just think that this horse is going to be too good for them. Dropping in for a tag here for Linda Rice, second off the layoff. Linda Rice, this horse is not the fastest out of the gate, but either is the 3 horse, and so when you look at this, I just think when I ran the race simulator at the first call, the horse is only 1.25 lengths behind, and the system projects that the horse isn't the best breaker in the world. And so with the drop, win percentage going up, GSR going up, second off the layoff, Linda Rice, second off the layoff is 19%. Let's see here. Not the best at the gate, but bested the 3. Oh, yeah. And by the way, the 1 horse bested the 3 horse 5-2 pretty easily last time out, even though the 1 didn't break good. And the thing about the 3, I think that maybe people think this horse might get the lead, but look at the win percentages for this 3 horse. Every single time, look at this, 36%, 20%, 34%, 30%, 55%, 25, and 35, and the horse just gets smoked every time except for once while breaking its maiden. I have to try to beat a horse like the 3, which makes me like the 1 that much more. So I've got the 1, she's cool.
Yeah, Scotty, after the scratch of the fort, in my eyes, this became a two-horse race between the 1 and the 3, and we're on the same page here. This is a drop down with the 1. She's and a sloppy track. She's a 1-for-1 on a wet track, although it was a muddy track at Fairgrounds at 6 furlongs where she closed. Stretches out, has not tried the mile. It's a concern of mine, but no one else. There's no world beaters here. It's a very weak. None was a 2 lifetime 40,000 claimer, and second off a layoff had, again, probably needed that race. Picks up Lascano for Linda Rice, and just looks really good on paper. So I'm going to go with the chalk. She's cool, and my second pick would be 3, 5 to 2. 1-3 for me.
1-3 for David. All right, so we're on the
Seems
same page there. Yeah. All right, that's Aqueduct. Now we got to get to Gulfstream Park, which first race is 21 minutes from now, but we've got to have all of the plays in 11 minutes from now. So let's do that.
Let's rock.
And I'll let you start us off on what you like, because I did not handicap these 3 races, but I'll catch up to you.
Oh, thanks for the help, my friend.
Okay.
I felt that, this race, Scotty, was the most puzzling race of the feeders. And I usually put that question mark or put an UG next to my notes. So I just thought that any one of these fillies, and it looks like it's ladies' day today. It's like, it seems like all filly and mare races. I just thought you could go so many directions in this race. So I kind of struggled, in all honesty, here. And
who are you looking at?
Who wasn't I looking at? I just wanted to point one thing out. I know we're limited for time, but I don't think I've ever seen this before in past performances. If you look at the 2-horse, Scotty, She Knows It All.
Yeah.
This horse broke her maiden back in May of 23 in a maiden 12.5, right?
Yeah.
And won pretty nicely and was bet down at 2.5 to 1, or 5 to 2. Yeah. And then comes back, and you look at every other start, 7th, 6th. I mean, this horse is like dead last in every start. And every start, she's got an excuse, a trouble line. Broke slow, off slow, ducked in, veered break, bump start, like just eliminated herself every race. This horse is 30 to 1 morning. I don't have the guts to use it on top, but it wouldn't surprise me. And I may try to sneak her in some wagering angle here, but I just think when a horse like that, and a lot of trouble, layoff lines, a lot of trouble lines, this is a horse that I'd be salivating at the NHC, because you have an angle. If the horse has won before and had an excuse every time out, unlikely winner, but this would be a bomb horse. This is a $38, $42 horse. So, but with that being said, I had to settle on somebody. The 9 looked logical to me. There's a lot of drop downs here. So I decided I want one of the fillies who are dropping down. So I just basically a guess. I went with the 7, Lucida. And this horse is Jack Sisterson, off a layoff, drops down from 30,000. Not only was it 2 lifetime, down to 8. That's a huge drop. And that was Churchill, concerned with no experience over the track, but blinkers on. And Gonzalez is 23% at the meet, picks up the mount. And I mean, the other horse is going to be tough, I thought, on the front end was Cajun Anthem, but you could use anybody here, and I wouldn't have an argument with you. So for me, it's going to be 7-4.
Well, Jack Sisterson is only a 10% trainer, but look at this stat. So first race back off a layoff is 22%, and first race with a horse is 29%. I mean, those are pretty amazing numbers. Like he should just get horses for the first time all the time. So he does a really nice job of getting these horses ready to run off the layoff, as well as taking horses for the first time. It's weird. I don't know why his win percentage is so low.
I've noticed that. Like it's a quirky stat, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's super strange. Whereas you have a horse like this one, the 8 horse, who's the EquinEdge top pick. I don't love horses like this. They just kind of prod along and they burn money and they get up late. Like, and also don't like the 8 post. I don't like the 9 post as well. Even though I think the horse has a shot and the horse is fast, because basically from post 7 and out, they just don't win very often. So you always want to look for inside posts over at Gulfstream Park on the dirt going 1 turn. And I'm going to throw this out. And when you look at that, this makes this race very, very tough. So, and again, I'm only looking at it for the first time. I don't know that this race plays out well for the 3 because the 9 is so fast as well. And I do think it sets up for the 7 horse, maybe even a horse like the EquinEdge long shot, the 4, but I'm not convinced this horse wants to rate either. And then the 6 horse is a decent long shot that could get a really good setup here. This horse is getting bet at 11-1 as well into what looks like a competitive race, which is also a very positive sign for the 6. So it's not the worst looking horse in the world. 2-1 on the 7 horse EE morning line. All the statistics we saw for Jack Sisterson, Gonzalez jumping aboard, makes me go with the 7 as well. So I'll go with the 7 and a consideration to the 6 horse to be in the money.
Right. And I just want to point out, too, I wouldn't be surprised if the 1 horse, Holy Kingdom, ran a better race because that last race, the first race, she dropped down from a 12.5 claimer to an 8,000 claimer, a sloppy track, and she was bumped. So if she didn't like the slop and got a better start, could she have won that race? She was bet down in that race to 5-2. This horse scares me, too. So,
but the thing about it is, I will say this, and I know you're not looking at it, but that was a 34 SOR. Today's a 44. It does make a difference. And the horse was getting bet. Now the horse is 50-1 on the EE morning line.
Right, exactly. And that's why I went with Lucida, because that's a bigger drop. She comes out of a better race. So,
all right, let's look at this race number 2. Although I will say this, I mean, you pull these rabbits out of your hat all the time.
Well, I'm glad you said hat, because I have a friend who says it comes from a different area, but we won't go there.
Fair enough. We have a first-time starter in the 1 horse, Rumors Have It, that is 53% to win, has a GSR that dominates this group, is 2-1 EE morning line, but the 3 horse is 4-5 EE morning line and 29%. But the race simulator has the 3 horse winning by a large margin. But this horse has burned too much money for me. I don't even need to really look at this. I'm taking the 1.
Yeah, I mean, with the scratch of the other Pletcher horse, Todd had originally 2 in here. The 1, Rumors Have It, a well-bred horse by Tappet, and the dam was Songbird. Come on. However, it's only 6 furlongs, and to me, this horse is crying out for a longer distance. But with the scratch of the 2, Taylor Swifter, the American Pharaoh, Mare, this horse just looks too. Don't worry about the distance. This looks like a weak maiden special weight field, and I'm Catcher Dove is the only other horse that can win. So I'm just taking the 1. Also, I'm moving on here.
Yeah, the 1 horse has got a couple of decent gate drills on November 1st, November 8th, back to back, 8-41, 9-43. There's races in October 6th, 12 of 90. I mean, this horse is already, as far as I'm tipped its cap. I think this horse. I think this horse can run. Obviously, it can probably run, but I think it's going to be tough.
The question is, Scotty, does she need more distance? So we're going to find out. But it's such a weak maiden field that even if she does need more distance, she's probably going to.
Look, I got to go with this. This is the championship meet, and when you start getting Pletcher and some of these big trainers over here, and Irad at this meet that's going to start right now, and you have a horse like Uncaptured Dove that can't win during a regular meet here at Gulfstream Park, let alone the championship meet. I just got to believe that the 1 horse is going to be long gone. Have to believe that. All right, we've got 3 minutes to have all your plays in. We got 1 more race here at Gulfstream Park. It's only a 5 horse field. The 3 and the 7 are out of the race. Wow, Songbird, $9.5 million in 2017. Songbird, $9.5 million sale. Wow. Yeah. Dave, 1-9. I cannot remember the last time I saw a 1-9 EE morning line. 75% to win, top GSR by far. It's just a matter of how many legs the 4 wins. I'm taking the points, whatever they are. That's it. Okay,
I would normally agree with you. This horse is 4 for 5. Lifetime on a Tapeta, with the other time didn't win. It got a second. This is only a 5 furlong race on the Tapeta. This horse could be long gone, but it does show the EE pace metric does show the 2 Flirtini with a pace advantage, which surprised me a little bit. But I just think even if the 2 shows some speed, the 4 would stalk. But with that being said, I am going to use the 6 Glitter Up. This horse is dropping from 62 claimer. down to 35 off of freshening. I'm a big Tim Hills guy. He comes up with some crazy nice priced horses. I'm not a big Luca Panici fan. He's burned me so many times over the decades.
Yeah.
And I always remember one NHC is like, I never heard of this guy Panici, and one guy at table said, don't play him at any cost. And the horse ended up winning and paying like $28. I'm like, but again, I just think with the scratches, this race is sort of unappealing to me. So it's either the 4 or the 6. So I'm just going with the 6, a little bit of price.
Yeah. Well, and the 6 horse doesn't look like that great of a breaker, and all of a sudden it ends up in synthetic. A horse that has 2 synthetic races is supposed to beat a horse that's, won $111,000 on the turf, 5 wins, 1 second, 1 third. I mean, I guess it can happen, but obviously this is an optional claiming. The 4 in no way is for sale. And man, you could have got this horse for $25,000 in its first start here on the synthetic. It broke 10th, going 5.5 furlongs, and only lost by a head. So, I mean, the one thing I will say is the 2's fast and the 6 is fast. So the 4 might, if Reyes sends, then, and maybe he will send anyways, going, I got the best horse, so I'm sending. But he's already shown that he can rate. So it's going to be interesting. I think that there is some strategy involved here because of the speed of the 2 and the 6. I will say that. So if you beat this 4 horse and he's out of the money, like, you might want to take a horse you like and bet it to show, because it's going to pay a lot of money if this horse is out of the money.
But
right?
The chances of this horse finishing out of the money, the 4, is sort of unlikely. It's something I wouldn't do. But I just want to point out one thing too. Hey, good morning, Oldie. Just keep in mind the 5, Royal Poppy. I think this horse is a good claim. Peter Walder claimed this horse out of a race at Aqueduct for $32,000. This was an Adelphi stable horse, so we know familiar connections of that and some stories. But this horse was eliminated the last time totally at the start, a stumble break. I don't like the horse today, but because I think she is not a 5 furlong horse, but I could see second race coming back. So 5, Royal Poppy, I think stretching out to 6 or 7 is a horse that I have on a list now next time it runs. Let's see how she runs today, but I think 5 is too short. But I think that could be a shrewd claim. So the 5, Royal Poppy, is a horse, in my opinion, to look out for in the next couple of races.
Hi, Oldie. What's going on, brother? Okay, so Aqueducts, we have races. We're gonna listen in on Aqueduct. We don't have the approval to show the simulcast, but in 9 minutes, we will show you the race, the live simulcast feed from, thank you to Stronach, by the way. We will show you the race live. So you'll be able to see that. And it is a wet track. I'm looking at it right now. I'm going to do my best to give you my play-by-play. And the favorite right now is the 3 horse, of course. Dave, reminder, you are on the
I'm on the 5, Blue Suede Sioux, and the 6, Capital Spending. But I will tell you what, I love the price on the 5. So I just put in a little bit of an exact exposure. So right. Yeah, I
couldn't separate the 3. I had a hard time. If I had 2 entries, I'd play the 2 and the 3. With the sloppy track and the 2 horse being 5-2. I think I would probably have to take the 2 horse to go gate to wire, because a lot of times first time starters will break slow, and the track has most likely been sealed, and so I think I would stick with the 2 horse.
And it'll be interesting to watch, especially the first 2 races. So we have Old Dirt. So if we see any trend in the first 2 races, I can call an audible for our later Aqueduct races. So good luck, everybody. Scotty's on the 2-3. I'm on the 5-6. Totally different page. So let's see. Good luck.
So 3 broke great, and Pratt sent. And so the 3 horse completely live. But look at your 5. Your 5 is really sending. I don't know if the 2 can rate. I don't think I've ever seen the 2 horse. I mean, from this position right now, 4 to 5, the 3 goes off at. Obviously, this horse was completely live.
If the 3s took that much money, this 3 is probably the real deal.
Yeah, late like that.
Yeah.
Very, very fast. I don't know if that's an indication of how track the fast is, Dave, and how sealed. But to go 21-4 is pretty light and fast, right?
Yeah, that's fast going 7. Absolutely. we'll see. But usually I've seen on these wet, when there's a lot of water, closers sometimes are flying, and it's not a speed favoring track. But
look
again,
at the jockey standing on the 2-horse right now. He's literally
yeah.
standing on this horse. 3's all out, and the 2's just cruising. Oh, there we go. 3's in front. Now the 2 is being asked, and it looks like a 2-horse race. The 6 is making a move late.
Yeah, here goes my 6, Scotty.
Well, come on, 2. Pass
6 is going to get up.
2, 3. Come on, 2, 3. 2's going to win the race over the 3, it looks like. 6 is making a move, but it's going to be too late. Hold up, 3. Hold up for a second. No. 2 seconds.
Oh, I split. One of my horses split yours. Sorry about that.
Yeah. 2, 6.
Yeah, so the 5 blue suede shoe, I looked for a little value. Didn't run a bad race.
2 on the 2, by the way.
Yeah, that's not a bad price. Not a bad price.
Again,
to me, I didn't trust her because I wasn't sure of the distance, but and I would have only wanted her on the lead. So I'm surprised that it surprised me a little bit with stalking and winning.
Well, I didn't know the 2-horse could stalk either, but Rosario did a really nice job of because look at this horse is always, maybe this is what this horse wants, was super green down the lane, but look, those fractions took their toll on the 3-horse late, David. Yeah,
I agree. Those were pretty solid, contentious fractions, especially the first quarter, 21 and 4, 44 and change, 44 and 4. So we got a 2-6-3-1.
Hey, Chris, what's going on? Yeah, we're covering the feeder races and then covering the qualifier as well.
Yeah, you're right, Chris. Hello, welcome, Chris. Yeah, you're right. With the 3 taking so much money, if I knew the 2 was going to drift up to 5-2 from its 9 to 5 morning, I might have put more emphasis on that horse.
All right, 1 second here. All right, let's get to Gulfstream Park, and that's coming up in 5 minutes from now. Let's see here. You're on the 7-horse, David Lucadia. I'm on the 7-horse as well. And then I'm going to take us to go look at these horses on the track. Sure. Let's do that. And I'll be right back.
Okay. Okay, so we've got the race at Gulfstream. Race 1 coming up in about 3 to 4 minutes. Well, 4 minutes is usually 7 minutes at Gulfstream because they take their sweet ass time going to the gate, as you all know. And I just thought, as I was looking at this race, I mean, this is just, I think any one of these horses can win this race. You look at the 1 or the 2 and say, yeah, you could probably throwouts, but I just think if you go back and look at some of the form here, that this is just, you can make a case basically, even for those horses to hit the board, in my opinion. So I in all honesty, I struggle with this race, and it's probably a race for, just not outside of the tournament realm that I probably would pass for real money. Because I just think it's too contentious. And I wouldn't even know how to separate any of these contenders. But I had mentioned to Scotty, I think I wouldn't be surprised if the 1 Holy Kingdom ran a better race. And those odds are a little inviting for me. And if you look at the 2 at that price, she knows it all. That's the horse that I said that she won her first out. And then every other race, she had a trouble line or an excuse, and she probably can't run anymore. Maybe something happened to her, and she's just not interested in the game. But trouble lines, layoff lines. But she won her first race for 12.5. It is an 8,000 claimer. I'd like to see how she runs this 2-horse without any trouble. I may hit it wouldn't surprise me if this horse runs a second, third. So again, for tournament, for the feeder, I used the 7. But at this point, I'd probably put a little interest in win place or on some kind of place showing for the 1 or the 2. So we got 2 minutes to post. Looks like a beautiful day, as Scotty said, down there in South Florida, Gulfstream Park. as opposed to my location here in Western New York, where it's 42 degrees and a steady rain and 15, 20-mile-an-hour wind. So welcome to Western New York in November. Now showing the 7 horse on the screen. That's the horse that I used in the feeder. She's looking rather frisky. Don't look bad on the track. It's saying a lot. The $8,000 claimer doesn't look bad on the track. So she's moving. So that's a good sign for 8,000 claimers. Now we have the 7 just ticked down to slight favoritism at 3-1 over the 8. Sylvia V's Hero, who I don't think either of us mentioned, but this horse again. I mean, this horse has had some competitive races, but drops down from a 25 claimer to an 8,000 claimer. So you got another drop down. So it's just a very puzzling race. The 9, 7-2, I thought had a shot here. I'm not sure that is she a 5.5 for a long race, primary race horse? Does she prefer for 5, 5.5? I don't know if 6 is her deal, but I mean, has won a race over the track. Scotty, yes, I was just reiterating how difficult of a race this was, and I'm like, oh, anybody could. And the more that I looked at it, but this 1 and a 2 horse that one at 20-1, one at 35-1, I couldn't resist throwing some wagers, placing a couple of very modest exacta bets, and we'll see.
Well, you know how
1 or 2 run well.
I don't see it.
Okay. They both have an excuse. So for long shots, again, when you're looking for long shots at the NHC, and this show's about the NHC, right? I just won't play any random long shot because, the horse 31, I got to use it. I need to have a justification for it, right?
Yeah.
So I have some, it may be very sparse or limited justification, but sometimes you need to look for chaos. It's a game of chance. A lot of stuff happens in races. And, to me, the key is trying to pick out the race where it's going to have some chaos or some dubious results. And where some other horse players are not figuring the same as you are. So trying to look outside the box, right? So,
Dean, I would agree with you 1,000%. Every time I've been on Rosario, most of the time, I mean, I had the 2 there, but and he gave that horse a really good ride. But
I will say this. I'm going to say I think Joel is sometimes a little too patient with his riding, and he's taking for granted. I like him better on a turf. I think he judges the pace well on the turf, but I give him credit. Last week I was on a horse at 8-1 or 9-1. And I said, all Joel needs to do is be closer to the pace, is not a lot of pace. And he got this horse out exactly, stalking second or third, made a move on a turn. I'm like, that's a perfect ride. So I'll give a jockey credit when they come through. But yeah, he's a Hall of Famer, obviously.
He's super strong.
Yeah. And a hell of a nice guy.
Yeah. 7's a favorite right now. Are you surprised?
Yes. I thought we'd get at least 3-1, 7-2 on that horse because, I mean, there's unknowns. This horse hasn't been out since April. Blinkers on. It's Sisterson, but it is a big drop down. Yeah, in retrospect, if we're sitting at the table, I'm sitting at table 11 at the NHC right now. If I had a play on the 8, I would withdraw it. If this was a mandatory, I would most likely, I'd go with one of the other prices. But again, with the pick and praise, you're locked in. So I'm locked in with a 5-2.
I don't want to talk anybody off the 8. It is the top EquinEdge pick. The race simulator has the horse winning easily. It's not a great post, especially for a horse that really doesn't have much speed here at Gulfstream Park. I can tell you that. Same with the 9, but the 9 at least has speed. where the 8 doesn't. Now, that could apply to the 7 horse as well, to be honest with you, but I'm banking on improvement from the 7 with Jack Sisterson's record off the layoff and with horses first time. So maybe we shouldn't be ignoring the 6 horse. Look at the 6 horse. It's 12-1. It's the EquinEdge second pick. And of course, the 4 horse is the EquinEdge long shot. And that horse is going to be prevalent as well. I just think the 9 horse is going to press the 4. So I think that's going to hurt the 4. And then probably this is one of the reasons why the 3 might be the horse to beat if it can rate. That's a big if. But I don't know. I think the 7 is probably the safest bet. But let's see what happens as they're going into the gate. All right. Here's the opener.
All right. Good luck in the opener. And I'm just curious to see too how the 1 or the 2, if any of them have any kick here. And if the 2 gets off to a decent start, it wouldn't surprise me if the 2 gets off bad out of the gate again, because they're usually repeat offenders. You could say, oh, trouble line, but 6 trouble lines in a row or 5 in a row, that would be very worrisome. But that's why you're getting 35-1. Good luck, everybody.
Bodily to the outside, Wicked Legacy to complete the buy. They're at the post. And they are off. Wicked Legacy for last in, first out to the outside, but it's Cajun Anthem.
Hey, the 2 finally got off today.
2 did get off.
Yeah.
7 broke very nicely as well.
The 4th spot is Lucadia. He's carried wide there in the early stages from 5th as a move towards the
A little surprised that the 8 is in front of the 7.
6th, big bouquet of roses is next. And at the back of the pack, the opening quarter was 23 seconds.
Look at the 6 horse. The 6 horse is absolutely loaded from behind.
Yes. 5-1. Wicked Legacy.
The 2 can't run anymore, so we got an answer on that one. The 6 is loaded. The jock's ready to blow by these horses, but it is a pretty slow fraction.
The horse got bet to 5-1. Horse was 12-1 going in the gate. Well, look at the EquinEdge long shot, got an easy lead, and you had the 9 on the outside post, and you're not going to catch this 4, I don't believe.
No, this 4's gone
right there, and speed holding at these short distances. In retrospect, honestly, I thought there was going to be more of a duel up front. If you'd have told me the 4 was going to get the lead, I'd have taken the EquinEdge long shot. And so I would have taken that. But it came in 4-6. Look at that. Look at the EquinEdge picks, Dave. Why did we even do any handicapping? Let's just EquinEdge long shot over the EquinEdge second pick. And look, that 6 horse was 12-1 going in the gate. You think that horse was live? Wow.
Yeah. Well, again, you got to look at that's the one thing with CAW money too. But the first race at Gulfstream, maybe there wasn't a ton in the pool yet. That's still a pretty good amount. But I expected to get higher than 5-1. But you got a 5-1 price out of a race that was very competitive. So in retrospect,
in retrospect, Dave, the 9 post is brutal. The 8 post is brutal. Look, those horses didn't run.
Right.
And so you're talking about 26% and 19% of the total win percentage of 100, right? So if you and then even the 7 horse didn't have the best post, right? So then if you did that, if you got rid of those outside posts, I know this is after the fact, fair enough, but I also always talk about how being in these outside posts, Gulfstream Park 1 turn are never a good thing. Then look at the win percentages. Or the win percentage on the you got the EquinEdge long shot and you got the 4 horse at 19%. The only reason, and we mentioned this, it looked like there was going to be more of a speed duel up front, and that just didn't materialize. And so something to think about.
And again, if you told me pre-race that the 4 was going to get an easy lead and the first fraction would be 23, 23-1. I'd say she's probably going to wire this field.
Yeah.
It just, no one went. The 7 with blinkers on didn't show any speed whatsoever. The 9, again, bad post to show speed at Gulfstream. That horse didn't show any speed. So in retrospect, I mean, if you knew, Oldie, I understand your point, but again, I just think the fractions were too slow for any other horse, any closers to have a chance here. So yeah, it does look like a beautiful day down there. Geez, I should have came down this week. Oh yeah. One of those days, I know all my friends in Florida who live there year round. They're like, "Oh, we opened the windows last night for the first time in 8 months. It was beautiful, getting a little fresh air. It was in the 50s. So enjoy the weather."
All right, 4 horse 5-1 over the 6 horse, over the 9 horse. Again, remember those outside posts. They are no bueno going one turn over at Gulfstream Park. Just remember that. Unless a horse is lone speed, they don't usually run well.
Agreed. And again, with Heather Smolin 1 for 33, did that influence me a little bit? Yeah, I have to admit, sometimes I let those trainer stats influence me a little too much.
You know, I used to do that as well until I just started trusting in the metrics, and you don't just bet that you still handicap.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I'll give you an example of what I mean by that. I remember about 3 years ago, there was a trainer that had a first-time starter that was 36% win and the top EquinEdge pick, and he was 0 for 30 with first-time starters. And I remember I started getting criticized because they were the Scotty picks back in the day, and then we changed them to the EquinEdge picks because I was playing against all of them. So I'm like, there is no way in hell that I'm going to bet this horse where the trainer is 0 for 30.
Right.
And I wasn't following the reason why we created the metrics, where the metrics, what they do, Dave, is they look at the statistics and they analyze those things and they come up with a simple number. And we have to remember that the algorithms are actually looking into that stuff already. They factor those things in.
Right. Sometimes we're being too smart for our own handicapping skills and horse playing skills, right?
Yeah.
And yeah.
Look at that exacta. Paid 4-6, paid $22.80.
Decent price. No.
Yep. All right. How about why don't we do we'll go to Aqueduct after we do Gulfstream Park race number 6, which is the first of the qualifiers. How's that sound?
That sounds like a plan.
All right.
Okay, so now we have a little time on our side, so we can move at the proper pace to get handicapping done here. And so we'll run the race simulator. And let me just pull up my EE metrics here. And yeah, we had a 7 furlong race on the dirt. So it's a race that I would normally be on my list of playable races. Eric says Laurel canceled. Okay, yep. Thanks, Eric. Got bad wet weather down there, probably. It looks like we had a big pace advantage with the 3. Shady World has a 30-point advantage in the pace metric. And again, I don't really like this horse per se. I think she's a little slower. I mean, I'm sorry, he's a little slower than some of these horses. So did you look at this race, Scotty?
No, I'm looking at it with you for the first time. I will say this, the GSR is going from 50 to 61. The last time this horse cleared was against a better field than this, actually, at 26%, and it won. This is not the worst looking long shot in the world. It really isn't. And especially if you don't love the favorites. Like, you look at a horse like this that's been burning money, the 2 horse who's going to be your favorite, and you're like, okay, well, and then you look at the 8 horse who's going to be probably the second choice. It's only got a 6% win chance and a 1 pace. A 1 pace. So now that's where you start looking at prices.
Right.
Would you agree?
Yeah. It's and with that being said, I did find a little bit of a price here, and I just thought, again, this is another wide open race, but again, with the three being having such a pace factor advantage, and 2 for 3 over the track. I mean, you could easily use this horse. It could be a live long shot, but this horse has been raced for 25 claimer now, moving up in class. So like I said, and then also working pretty good. So again, maybe if it's a speed favoring track, I would kind of assume that 7 may be a little questionable for this horse. But I thought the 2 was live, Lace Up. The 6 was live, Lasso, 5-2 horse, and a 3-1. But the horse that I'm interested in, and I'm not going to look any further than this one, is 5, Turn Up the Trees. This horse is now coming back to Gulfstream, coming back to the scene of the crime from January 13th, where this horse won, breaking his maiden at Gulfstream Park on the dirt at 6 furlongs and was bet down to, looks like, 3 to 5. Then 2 more races in a $75,000 optional, moved to turf, just had a trouble line there. Went back to dirt, stretching out, kind of just packed it in. Didn't seem to like a mile. Off a layoff, comes back to Monmouth, 50,000 claimer. Not a bad race, a third, probably needed the race. Goes up to an allowance 50,000 at Saratoga at almost 20 to 1. Very tough race, showed a little speed and packed it in. And then a 75 claimer at Parks. None was a 2 lifetime. Drops way back down to 35. This horse may be in its proper spot here. 1 for 2, like I said, at Gulfstream. So at the price, and who picks up the mount? Paco Lopez, big jockey, change from the last out. And so I'm going to take a look at risk at a price here. The 5, Turn Up the Trees, Scotty.
All right. Eric said he likes the 7 on the cutback.
Okay, thanks, Eric.
Let's see here.
Yeah, Manhattan Boy, I did give a look to. The cutback is a big thing, going from mile and 70 to 7. I always like that move also. But steps up. This horse has been racing. My concern was racing, break is maiden at 16 on turf. Now this horse is switching from turf to synthetic, back to dirt. So looking for the right surface. So that's why I passed on the 7.
It ran good last time out. Mora is 8% first time out. It showed it can rate even, which
she ran a good race. Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Last time out was a nice race at 10 to 1.
You're going 7 furlongs, so we're clearly looking for a horse that's going to save ground on the inside for me, anyways. Let's run this. It's going to finish, but I don't see it. First of all, very few horses can come from so far back on this track. So for me, I wouldn't like the 1-4-8.
Yeah, and I think the 5 has some positional speed. And with Paco on, Paco's, he gets horses out of the gate well, as we all know. And I think that's a good jock switch for this horse. This horse should be in it early and at least be stalking the pace, hopefully, the 5.
7 can win this. I don't like the drop in GSR. The 2 horses burn so much damn money, but Irad jumps aboard. And Irad's going to give this horse a patient trip on the inside. I like the 2 or 6 for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're definitely live. Yeah.
It's one of those horses for me is going to win the race. Jaramillo's on the 6. I love Jaramillo. I just think he's such a good jockey. He's always going to get a horse out of the gate. Look, he's going to be sitting at the first call, going to be sitting in a perfect position. He'll probably actually send that. Oh, no, that's the 2 horse, excuse me. But Jaramillo, you can count on him giving this horse a good trip. But the 2 has tactical speed, and he can be sitting on the inside. I'm trying to see why things will be different than this horse continuing to burn money. What might change here? It has been facing tougher the last couple of races. The win percentage goes up, but I mean, it burned money here as 36% to win.
Right, and again, the question I have usually when I see 7 furlongs, Scotty, I'm looking for a horse who's had success at the distance, because 7 has 7 furlongs can be a tricky distance, and no one here has had any success at 7. Granted, there are limited tries, but there would be another question mark for me with a lot of these horses. So, but the 2 and the 6 did seem logical, but again, my game plan was to look for a little bit more value here.
Look at the 6 horse beat the 2 horse last time out, like fair and square.
Yes, but again, keep in mind, Scotty, that the 6 was off a layoff and finished.
That's what I mean. And look at, okay, Delgado. This is an interesting stat. Delgado is first race back 23%, 17% first time with a horse. But look at these stats second time out. Second race back 25% and 28% second with a horse. I got to go with the 6. All right, so I'm going to say 6-2.
I'm locking you in, Scotty. So it's the 6. Is that your final answer?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I'm locking you in on the 6, and your second pick would be the 2. I'm on the 5 and the 5. If I had two entries, I'd have the 5 on both in this case.
Okay, so
let's turn up the tree.
We're gonna get to Aqueduct, and I'll give my best race call. They're headed to the gate, and let's go here for race number 2.
Race 2. Let me just pull up my screen here. Yeah, about a minute to post. And we've got the 4 as the even money favorite, as our teammate Oldie would say. It's 1-1 right now. Prohibitive favorite, and the 3 is 8-5. So St. Benedict's prepped, and Saiton Lady taking the majority of the money. And I opted for the 3rd choice here, Movie Moxie, only because I'm tired of getting beaten by. I can't begin to tell you how many times I've gotten either beat on the win end or the exact end by Movie Moxie, who I didn't like. I'm not going to let that happen today.
The 4 is getting overbet. 4 is getting overbet.
Agreed. Off the layoff, but it does come out of the Grade 1 ballerina. So, Race Against Society and Celia and Valor. That's the 3 horses that were in a Breeders' Cup.
So the 5 horses got 5 wins in 35 lifetime races, and I mean,
but
at perfect trips, it loses ground. I just question this horse's stamina at this level. And continues to stay at. In fact, this race is tougher than the last couple of races. It didn't run a bad race last time out, but there was only 4 other horses in the race, and it was just on that lead, and it looks like they set a slow pace.
Yeah,
I don't know. Okay, well, look at the 3's getting bet late. I don't know how you catch this 3, David. I just don't know.
I agree. It's the lone speed, and she looks just sort of dominant on the front end. But when I was seeing 0 for 3 at the distance, and 2 of those distance races were on synthetic, which proves nothing to me, because this is dirt and sloppy dirt. I just don't trust her. I don't really know if she's a mile horse. I think she's better at 7. And again, with Movie Moxie being 5 for 35 lifetime, it's well understood. But at the distance, she's 4 for 14 and 12 for 14 on the board. And I don't think she's a 1.8 horse. And she finished a nice second, basically comeback race with no speed. So that's a good stamina building race for her. So the more that I talk about it, the more that I like her. I actually might bet her straight at this point. But again, she might not be the same horse at 7. So that would be my concern. All right, they're loaded in. Good luck, everybody. The 1 looks a little fractious in the gate. Captain's daughter. They're off.
3 horse broke good, but Moxie broke on top. 3's not getting the lead here. And the 1, so the jockey on the 3.
5 is wide.
5, yeah, 5 is having some issues early on. Yeah, the jockey had to let up there. And the jockey on the 1 and the 3 are dueling right now. St. Benedict's Prep, the 3 horse, is going to the jockey's doing a nice job relaxing the horse a little bit, and even money out on the 3, and Captain's Daughter on the lead at 10-1, and the 5 Moxie is Movie Moxie has settled down a little bit, and really nice strides on the 5. I really like the way the 5's moving right now. And then long way back to the favorite, but we're not surprised about that. Chi-Town Lady, who actually second choice. It's going to be interesting. 23-second quarter mile, 46. So they're going pretty fast in the second. Which would definitely help Chi-Town Lady for sure, who seems to be running fine. 1 horse looks done right now as the 3 horse at even money is passing the 1. 5 seems to be being prodded a little bit right now, Moxie. Movie Moxie. I don't think the 3 has even been asked yet. And now Fleming's asking. It looks like a 2-horse race. 4 horses out of it. 5's moving.
Yeah. I think the 5's got this one, Scotty. Maybe not. The 3's battling back.
Yeah, no, the measure is with the 5. 4's coming late, making a move, but the 5's got the measure.
Oh, no, about that.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Hold
but
on.
The 3-horse fought really hard. 5-3. 5-3, and that was a really good race for the 5. Good selection there on that 5. We got the exacta, David. The 5-horse Movie Moxie was drifting out early, and
yes.
and right, and just ran a good race. And it's that same old thing when you show speed going longer and then you cut back, and that's what happened with the 5-horse Movie Moxie as well. 7-year-old mare with her 6th win in 36 lifetime races, but.
Right. And I got the price that I wanted, 7-2, in a 4-horse field, right?
Yeah.
So you get the 3rd. Now, there's some people I know as horse players I keep seeing on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it these days, like, Aqueduct sucks. I'm not playing Aqueduct anymore. It's winter now. The fields are too short, blah, blah, blah. All right, well, I just got a 7-2 horse and a 7-2 value in a short field that I'm good with that. I'll put it that way. It just doesn't make, because you have smaller fields, does not necessarily mean that you're not going to get prices here or there. So
yeah. Here's a look at the horses in the paddock over at Gulfstream Park. It's an absolute stunning day. Ton of golfers. I live on a golf course here. We used to be a TPC event here.
Keep rubbing it in, my friend. Keep rubbing it in. I was in Florida. I was down there 2 weeks ago, and the weather was okay up here, and now it's miserable. But I'll be heading down. For the championship meet. You'll see you in January after the holidays.
Samantha and Brian on the 1 horse. I think the 1 horse was my play, wasn't it, as well? Rumors have it, yeah. I like the 1. You got the 1 as well, didn't you?
Yes, I did. Yes.
Yeah. Laurel was canceled, Dan. I don't know why it was canceled, but they canceled the races over at Laurel. So.
Yeah, I think it's a weather issue. Obviously, there's a lot of rain, probably.
6 minutes before this race over Gulfstream, which usually means around 8 to 10. They're very, pretty consistently late. Not terribly late. I've seen a lot worse tracks than them. Who are some of the worst tracks, David, with delays? They're like, I say, for me, Charlestown's pretty bad.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, track
to me, Gulfstream is the one, because, and let's be honest, as horse players, sometimes cashing out the race before is very important to us. No further info. I don't have to give any further opinion on that. If you don't agree, like, the money's not in my account and I love the next race. And hold on a second. I played this Gulfstream, and I can't make a decision on Aqueduct 7 until Gulfstream is done, and then not even mulling around a gate. I'll have no more money. I gotta have, you know what I mean? And then that goes off late, so then you cash out too late in a horse that you really want to put a ton of wagering capital on. In the next race at Aqueduct, the race has gone off already, and the horse wins by 5 at 7-2, and you're like,
yeah.
So
I agree, Dan. Charlestown's got to be one of the worst plays. Yeah, let's give credit to Churchill Downs is pretty accurate. Woodbine is almost always just spot on. And also Aqueduct. The Aqueduct, they do a nice job of being on time. There's the 3-horse Uncaptured Dove, who's actually the EquinEdge top pick. The 4-horse Given Star. This horse is actually moving up in GSR, but only 1% to win, Dave. So I couldn't go there. There's Lynetta Jack, the 5-horse, 20-1, 19-1 currently right now for this one, who has no speed whatsoever. Regal Queen has to have a look. This one might be on the lead early at 8% to win, and then on the outside at 9-2. There's West Loop, the EquinEdge long shot. This is a first-time starter that's got a low win percentage, but it's only 5-1 on the EE morning line, and this one looks to have a look. It looked pretty good on the track there. Did you look at that 7-horse very closely?
Not particularly. Again, I just thought this was clearly, in my opinion, a 2-horse race between the 1 and the 3. I mean, I'll take another look before they load in the gate here. But
it's the 6th hole because the 2's been scratched. So, yeah, Keeneland is spot on, Eric. You're right.
Yeah, first time starter by Munnings out of Speightstown. Yeah, I mean, this horse, the work on November 20th at Palm Meadows is decent, and has some other pretty nice works. Yeah, I mean, this horse, of course, could be live and probably show a little more speed than the 1.
Did you see the mare of the 1 horse? Holy hell!
Yeah, well, that's Songbird. Yeah.
Who had 13 wins in 2 seconds and 15 lifetime races. I mean, wow. I mean, and bred to tap it.
Oh, okay. I'm looking. I answered my own question. I was going to say, didn't this horse? Okay, but tap it sub rights for let's see, folks. It's 105,000. But again, this is a homebred, so it's a tap it up song. This horse is regally bred, but again, more of a distance horse, right? Tap it and Songbird. This horse, again, we may be looking at this is a 3-year-old. We might be off to a late start in the 3-year-old season. It'd be interesting to see how she runs.
Well, look, I mean, she broke her maiden. Songbird did, going 6 furlongs in her first start, and by 6.5 lengths, and then went in the second start in the Del Mar debutante, grade 1, won by 5 1/4 lengths.
Mm-hmm.
So, no, she was no joke.
No, Songbird was a game filly.
Wow, yeah. I love it. Yeah, I love it. Irad's aboard. 3 to 5 right now. You know, the race simulator has the 3-horse winning fairly easily. You know, I don't know. Do you maybe at 5-2 put a little money on this horse? I mean, the 1 does draw the rail, and maybe wants longer. You know, the 3-horse is 4 to 5 on the EE morning line. Top EquinEdge pick. I don't know. Interesting. The 7-horse West Loop. The dam was a turf horse, so I'm not. You know, and I don't love the post. Doesn't appear to have any speed early. I think probably that one's going to be a very good horse, but maybe pass in this particular race. Regal Queen. I mean, this race is between the 1 and the 3. That's what it looks like.
Yeah, I agree. But if you told me if I was a horse player walked up to me and said, I'd like a horse as a tap it out of a Songbird and going 6 furlongs. What do you think? And it's 6 furlongs, first time start. I'd be like 4 to 5. I said I'd let it beat me, because I think if anything, this horse will have ability, but 6 furlongs is not the distance that this horse is probably looking for, right?
Well, I think ultimately no, but I mean, don't forget you've got the dam side as well, and Songbird was very, very fast. So there's no way that this distance is going to be a problem for
right.
this one.
And I think one of the prime factors, right, and Chris had brought this up too, that they'll be racing for 20,000 more in a couple of weeks. But the bottom line is this race, this is a gimme race, in my opinion. There's such a weak maiden special weight. In a month from now, you won't see maiden special weight for 3 and up this lacking for.
Well, by the way, you're 1,000% correct on that. Like, this is a super weak race. Even the 3-horse doesn't seem all that great to me. I think that's why you have to love the 1. Like, she looked amazing on the track, by the way. Her ears were pricked. She looked great. She was calm. Like, I can't, like, if she doesn't beat this field and beat it by 7 or 8 lengths, to me, she's not that there's a problem. I think it'd be interesting to know what they think about her. Like, she's got to win, and she's got to win impressively, because again, this is not that strong of a maiden field.
Right. And in reality, her main competition, the 3-horse, is a $40,000 claimer, and is a Florida State bred. That's had 9 chances and is 0 for 4 over the track. And then there's others. You've got a horse who's a 12-5 claim. So you're going to find this another month. I think the logical horse, if you're going to try to beat the horse, you got a Safi Joseph horse in here, which who knows? This horse, it was Asmussen, has a good work. Wouldn't surprise me if it's a 6-step. Safi never. There's never a dull moment with him. His horse is always overperform, in my opinion. Blinkers on, trainers change, but it's Asmussen. Yeah, would it surprise you that Safi Joseph popped up at 6-1?
No.
Yeah, but I can't go against this one horse at this point.
But it also, I mean, Safi Joseph also, it tells you a lot that, you're putting a 6% jockey on the horse. To me, it tells you everything. Like, I'm blown away that this horse, I know it's got a bullet last time out, and it's training really good, no doubt about it. But I have to bet against that horse.
Yeah, if you look at the horse's form, it doesn't look like she can run, right? She shows a little speed and packs it in every race. She may not, but then trainers change. I've seen weirder things happen with Safi's barn.
Yeah, no, I mean, coming in from Indiana Grand, Safi Joseph, like I said, a 6% trainer. The workouts, though, are the only thing they confuse. The workouts on this horse are pretty tremendous. I'm talking about the 6-horse Regal Queen. And I'm definitely curious. I will tell you this. I will bet on almost every Safi Joseph that run. I'll bet on at least 70% of his horses. He will, he does really well at these meets. All right, let's.
Good luck, everybody.
Good luck in the choice.
How the one royally or regally bred first timer does in her first outing for Todd Pletcher and Whisper Hill Farms.
Ooh.
Somebody's acting up in the gate.
One is acting up.
One of these girls are acting up.
Broke in the air. She's having to be asked.
Well, the one already is running like Tapit Trice, so I hope.
Yeah.
And the rail. Oh, she got off the rail. She's in between. She's in a good spot. She's good.
I'm a little surprised at the 3-horse where it's at right now. 4 to 5 right now. I mean, listen, if she's all that, even with that break and all that, she took a while to get going. So you're right. I mean, she probably she obviously wants to go longer, but she needs to pull away and win easily here.
Yeah, Scotty, she's under a hand ride.
Yeah.
Look at this. He's sitting on it. This horse she's going to just destroy this field, it looks like. Not even asked. Oh, she's a little green.
7 horses running here.
Yeah. She may lose this race. They opened their mouth too fast.
Look at that.
Yep. She's a little green, and she got beat by, like I said, the 7. There you go.
I don't care what happens from this point. Like, for me anyways, like that's just such a disappointing effort from this horse. And to be honest with you, I didn't see the confidence level with Irad. I mean, he broke a little bit slow, and then he was rushing her to get up. So if he had all the confidence in the world, he doesn't care if he's 6, 10 lengths back in the beginning. Yeah. That's a really good point, Chris. I thought that earlier. You're right. Now we know why she was in this race, because she's really not all that. It's exactly right.
Right.
Yeah. Yep.
But she's still, with that being said, she still finished second. But
no doubt about it. It's not. I'm only talking about expectation level, right?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And with that breeding, yes, exactly. You are 100% correct.
So, all right, let's get back to it. We need to.
Do you want to do next, Scotty?
Why don't we do Aqueduct race number 7? Your hometown.
My hometown.
We're trusting you. Yep, we're trusting you here.
You're putting your trust in me, huh?
Yep.
I'm in a New York state of mind, so
You are okay. Perfect. You always are.
there you go. This, and I will tell you, this is when I start getting more involved at in the winter when they we don't have any turf racing. Is playing pick sixes because it's easier for me to string 6 picks on dirt than have a. So, and again, granted, the fields are smaller, but you can still, you can still get a pick 6 between 5 and 10 grand on some of these days.
Yeah.
And it's not a bad take.
Is geopolitics all that in this race? I mean, big 2 to 5 on the EE morning line, 40% to win. But I mean, look, this horse has burned a lot of money. I know it won by 10 lengths, 2 races back, breaking its maiden. But man, I mean, it's been the favorite in every lifetime start and only won one of those races. Are you willing to put your money on this horse?
No, I am not, Scotty. Even though this horse has, again, you want to talk about a money burner. This horse has been favored. She's been favored in every start of her lifetime. And most starts, I mean, the last race, she was 5 cents on a dollar. And she can only get a third. She tired in a 5-horse field. The one time she won by 10, she had, again, lone speed and just aired, but that was a very weak field. Just breaking its maiden. Yeah, she's going to need, again, the only thing that I looked at, I was like, the sloppy track may change things a bit because I'm thinking she might like slop based on the breeding. Central banker out of Speightstown. But look at it this way. She's got to go with the 3-horse, My Magic Wand, right? Yeah. So in a lot of those races, and the 2 puts blinkers on, should show some more speed. Let me just pull up. For some reason, my laptop here is a little slow, and I can't get the EquinEdge up. I don't want to make. Okay, here we go. I got the race up here. So if you look at the pace metrics, My Magic Wand actually has a slight advantage. So the 7 usually she never wins, but a lot of cases she's got a pace advantage. Here, that's probably not the case. And I just think there'll be enough pace up front. It is a sloppy track. I'm looking for a horse a little bit off the pace. And then things have changed a little bit because I want to look at any horses that have success on sloppy tracks or victories or running well, or it looks like they're running a little faster on an off track. I don't see any of those here. The horse, I think that the horse that may get a good trip here off the pace is Aunt Yola, the 5. However, this horse, she's been racing exclusively on turf, sprint races. They stretch her out to a mile and a 16th where she showed the lead on turf and kind of packed it in. 1 for 8. And this is a non-winners of, well, it's a state bred allowance, 80,000. The thing is, it's a pretty contentious race, and there's no world beaters in here. The 2 horses I'd be trying to make in a contest to get a little value would be either the 4 or the 5. My Magic Wand, this horse to me would be she's probably got more ability than the 7, and they were very lightly raised for Greg Sacco. Good connections, Reeves Thoroughbred Racing. But it's a little difficult for me to wager on a horse just breaking her maiden. But even it was an open company. It was not a restricted state bred race. So I don't have any problem using the 3, but I'm looking for a little value, and it's either the 4 or the 5. I'm flipping a coin as we speak. I think Carol T, this horse has had a few decent races. If you go back to July 7th, a nice 3rd. It just seemed, and the last race at 6 furlongs closed up for 2nd at 13-1. I think this horse, being a frosted, may appreciate the off track. On a sloppy track, didn't fire at Parks. On a muddy track, didn't fire at Saratoga, but that was a stakes race, the Bowery. So I'm gonna go with Katie Davis here, Scotty, with a little value. The 4, Carol T over the 5. And I'd probably just use the 2 of them in my pick 6. I don't want any of these shorter price horses. How'd you see this?
I feel like I appreciate Oldie. I'm always going to look at something Oldie likes, but here's what I see, and Eric brought this up as well. David, look at this GSR increase. This horse has been on the turf the last 4 races, and it broke its maiden on the turf, no doubt about it. But that was a 63 GSR. This is an 86 today. This horse is going up 27 points in GSR. Not to mention, it showed speed going long and didn't exactly stop. It only lost by 4 3/4 lengths. Now it cuts back on dirt, and the GSR goes way up. And you've got 2 vulnerable favorites that are going to be dueling with each other. I don't know how the 5 loses this race. I only get 5 or 6 to 1 on this 5 horse. 1,000% on my ticket. I'm using the 5 win or lose, but I think this is a what do they say? This is the insiders, right? What do they say about the New York? The wise guy. This is the wise guy.
This
is
the wise
guy for the EquinEdge Road to the NHC wise guy pick of the day, Aunt Yola, for sure.
Hold on a second. I thought the wise guy play was the 4, Carol T.
No, absolutely not. It's 1,000% the 5 horse. Going up 27 points in GSR and cutting back after showing speed and getting back on dirt where
the horses had success. Yeah.
And then the 3 and the 7 are most likely to be dueling. And the 3 just broke its maiden. I mean, horses don't, we know that horses come back after breaking their maiden to win 5% of the time. And the problem with the 3 is the 3's got a decision. You're going to let the 7 go, or you're on the inside. Can you even afford to do that? I'm hoping he doesn't, and they duel, but absolutely all over this 5 horse.
Right. My handicapping exercise here yielded a different opinion for a second. I did originally say I would only use the 4 and 5 in my horizontals. I think I referenced the pick 6. No, I'm going to change my mind. To move forward, I would feel more comfortable using the 3, 4, 5. So I'd go 3 deep here. I am a little afraid. This is a gun runner, the 3, and she's got one thing over some of her competition here. She's actually won in open company. That was a maiden special weight for open company. It wasn't a state bred race. So, and she's a Kentucky bred. She's facing a lot of New York breds. I'm sorry, she's a New York bred, but anytime you can beat open company, it tells me something. But again, so I'm not going to use her on top because of the price, but I'll use the 3 of them.
So the 3 horse, the Magic 1, I understand, Chris, actually, because we don't trust the 7 horse and the others just look okay, and this horse wins like it did. And it's 27% today too. It only did beat 4 horses, though. I'll say that. And sometimes when you look at them on paper, they can look better than what they are. Mm-hmm. Statistically, the chance of this horse winning are lower based on the national average of horses that break their maiden and then face winners for the first time. That all being said, I would take the 3 over the 7. So for me, the 3 would be my second pick. But I do think with the GSR increase and the cutback from showing speed, I think you got to give the 5 a really big look. But for me, it's 5-3.
Okay, for Scotty, it's 5-3. I'm locking you in, my friend, as 5-3, and I'm locking myself in as 4-5. And a honorable mention to the 3, but I won't use that horse in the qualifier.
Bill says the spirit of Esther Wong is calling from the grave. Take the 1. All right, spirit of Esther.
Spirit of Esther. All right, so that's 2 we got down.
That horse did run a nice race, and the GSR goes up 10 points. I don't think that's the worst looking long shot in the play in the world, actually, if you look at it. Barely hung on to break its maiden against a 44 group. I don't like that. But then came back against winners first time and jumped up 12 points in SOR and had a 64 GSR and only lost by 1 3/4 lengths against 11 other horses at 62-1, and now goes up 10 points in GSR. The win percentage doesn't go up, though. I would have liked to see the win percentage go up some.
Correct. I'm on board with you. I don't think I'd like this horse.
All right, you got Woodbine race number 3 or 1 coming up, the opener. We're not going to show that. We might show a couple of Woodbine races today, but we're not going to show that because we've got Aqueduct race number 3 coming up.
Scotty, if I can just ask you a question.
Yes, sir.
if we can definitely, because sometimes as we're doing the show,
Yeah.
I do forget to a race that I'm interested in. So I'm very interested in watching the 4th race at Gulfstream. So we can just watch this 2:01 post time. So I don't want to forget because I really like a horse in there.
Okay, done.
Okay, 4th race at Gulfstream. All right.
Yeah. Let's see here.
Yeah, sometimes on a Friday, I get so ingrained in handicapping the races that are on our card for the qualifier that I'm like, geez, I missed an $18 horse there. I forgot Gulfstream. Not happening today.
So, by the way, the one horse here, we can't look at it on the track. I mean, I can. We all can as individuals, but I think the one horse just makes a lot of sense in here, David. I mean, what's the negative about the one? Can you give me a negative?
Sure, I can give you a negative right off the bat. 6-5 is the negative. But again, we got a 5-horse field, and with
this is a bad field. This is not a good field. I mean, right? This okay. Make a case for the 6-horse to win this race. Shihana.
Do you hear the crickets in the background?
I did hear the crickets.
The only thing I'll say is she has won a race over the racetrack, but it was 7 furlongs. It was a maiden 30 claimer. So if you look at that compared to the competition and what SOR in that race was not, it can't be anything. I didn't pull it up, but the one and the 3 seem to be racing against much better fields. So I think this horse would be unlikely. However, the one thing that I will point out is that second race off a layoff sometimes can be dangerous, and the horse isn't working out bad. And what do we have? 3-1. I want a little
so overbet. It's getting, for many reasons. 1, the 52 GSR. 2, it's 10% to win. It's getting overbet, and the reason is the race 2 back before the layoff, and that is the horse in a slow pace was up front for a while and then stopped. That's where the real racing is. You want to watch from the stretch to the finish. That horse lost ground when it shouldn't. The race before that in Breaking Its Maiden, that was a 40 group, and the horse was near the pace and ended up winning the race against a weak group. This horse is getting way overbet, in my opinion.
And she got bounced the last race by the 3, 5-2. But again, that was the first race off a layoff. And, she goes back to a $40,000 claimer. That's where she probably belongs. Again, she's 3-1 because the 4, who was a big contender, Pam was scratched. So, yeah, I don't like that.
I think that I look at this horse was in a starter allowance last time out. I think that the one horse, I think the one horse, they gave the horse the race. And this horse now, look, it was only 13% to win last time out, and now it's 36%. You have to look at that. What was the win percentage prior? What's the win percentage today? Same with the SOR and same with the GSR. And so the one horse is only projected to be a length and a half behind. I wouldn't be surprised if the one horse breaks decent, that the one's on the lead. So the one is just classier than these, currently 7-5. Yeah, no, the connections are betting this horse. The one this is not a strong field. And the one is a new.
Yeah, and that's the problem some horse players have with the Big A now that turf racing, that some of these fields are weak. Yeah, but I understand. A lot of players want 9 or 10 horse fields, but it doesn't really bother me because I'm a New York guy, and I'll usually just deal with the menu that's presented to me.
No, what else are you going to do?
Right.
I'm just looking to see. No, the one horse broke slow like it normally does. It's last right now by about 4 lengths already. That's not good.
That was not a good. No.
Yeah, that was a really bad break. He rushed the horse up a little bit to get in contention. It wasn't too bad. 6 broke good. Like
He's really rushing this horse up, Scotty.
The horse is kind of doing it on its own, and now he's grabbing the horse and sitting off of the 6 horse. I still don't think it's going to matter. I don't think the 6 is all that good. I think the 1 is still the best horse in this race, but that was That was about a 4-length loss. I thought this horse would win by 6 or 7, so maybe this one can still win. We'll see what happens here.
I don't like the rush up there. I bet he maybe didn't have any other choice. We'll see if this horse has anything left coming down the stretch. I have my doubts.
6, the jockey on the 1's got plenty of horse compared to the 6 anyways.
But is she going to flatten out because of that rush up?
Here comes the 5. 5's going to win this race most likely. 2's got a lot of horse on the inside as well, but 5 seems to have all the
1's under the whip now. But again, she's trying to bear in. Here she comes.
Here
This is
comes
going to be a tough race. Look at them. They're all coming now. Yeah, the ones that the rush up just killed that horse.
Yeah. That's the stuff you can't account for. Right. But I mean, when they're two steps out of the gate and you're 4 lengths back, that's not good.
Right. Obviously, if you told me that the one's going to be 6-5 and she's going to break 3 lengths behind the rest of the field, I'd be like, all right, just count me out, right? So
yeah, exactly.
That breaks matter, Aldi, exactly, and you can't. That's one thing you just can't predict. So we got a bad break on a 6-5 shot. So that's you got an 8-5 over a 3-1. So you still didn't get much of a price, but that was the other logical horse.
And slow, Mr. Benjamin. No layups.
We got Woodbine going on.
Way well,
yeah, we just might as well watch the lead on the outside
and races to the front. Over on the rails, Handy is Porsche's Run, and just behind them, Scotty's Love Chill, Claramente, and making some ground. Magnetize.
Yeah, it's in the lead right now.
Mrs. Benjamin is last. Showing up together in front of Whiskey and Ice. No layups. Whiskey and Ice clearing now from no layups by about 3/4, and Porsche's Run up the inside. They've come away by 2. Oh, trouble. Down goes a couple of them.
A
number of horses here. And a lot of riders on the grounds. Getting up on his feet, Magnetized rider 1, Crawford, no layups, went down, and so too did another Pinky. And those riders, Deshaun Gaskin as well as Edgar Zenteno, as they corner. And down the stretch in front, it is Whiskey and Ice taken on by Porsche's Run. In fact, the field decimated, and more to come on this race. But down to the wire, Whiskey and Ice is going on to score. And goes out to win by 3 or 4 lengths to Porsche's Run. And about 10 away came Scotty's Love Chill. And the rest of the field has all come tearing apart, and more to come for all the riders. And the
how many horses? 4 went down? That's awful.
Yeah, 3 or 4 horses went down easy.
Yeah, I mean, stuff you can't predict. I just hope everybody's okay. Not good.
Okay. That's right.
Yes.
Okay, we've got. Why don't we get to another qualifier? So far, we've got through Gulfstream Park 6, Aqueduct 7. Let's go to Aqueduct race number 8 and handicap that qualifier.
Okay, let's run the. I'm going to run the simulator. We've got. Oh, this is right up my alley.
Brad, did you hear anything about this, David?
Didn't they cancel? Hey, Brad. At Woodbine recently for breakdowns.
I haven't heard that.
Yeah, Aldi's saying they've been having some issues with horse breakdowns. So, no, I haven't. In all honesty, it's been a rather busy week. I haven't been following Woodbine.
Oh, yeah.
So,
yeah, Brad, you're right.
Yeah, there have been issues. Yeah. Thanks for pointing that out.
2 Saturdays ago, because of breakdowns. Wow, on the synthetic. Wow. I wonder what the heck would cause that. So all I can think of is too much rain.
Yeah, that could be a thing. And again, you know, we've got the groups that are content. They're stating that the Tapeta and the synthetics are so much safer than dirt. But that doesn't mean that there's never going to be any problems with. I
don't care what they say about that. I disagree.
Yeah, I've
never seen any proof that synthetics are safer. The only reason people are using synthetics is, you know, the drainage of the synthetic compared to dirt at times when there's a lot of rain. And so that's the default. That's the only reason. We never had That's the only reason.
Right. It's a financial thing. Let's cut to the chase.
Yeah.
If Gulfstream takes races off the turf in the middle of their championship meet, it was a 12-horse field on a turf, a bang-up race, and they go to a sloppy main track, you might have 6 scratches. If you take that same race off the turf and go to the PETA, you might have 2 or 3 scratches. Or maybe
and you know why that is, right? So many people believe that synthetic is like turf. It's not. It's just not. I mean, if you want to say that synthetic is more like turf than dirt, okay, fine. But it's nowhere near turf. Synthetic races and turf races are not close.
Right.
You know, but obviously, you know, dirt to turf is obviously a huge difference. But
in my opinion, I mean, look at Turfway Park. They have huge fields, and the racing is good in general. I'm not a big player of synthetics, but Turfway is competitive racing. I mean, good luck picking. It's very, you're going to get prices there, right? But bottom line, I in my opinion, it's very inconsistent. I mean,
I agree.
No rhyme or reason for
form. That's the problem that I have. I don't think there's one person that's been doing horse racing for a long time that won't say that if you want to get prices, Turfway Park has the biggest average payout than any other track in North America, and they would be right. But the problem with it is horses that look like they're going to come in last sometimes win, and I don't know how you plan for that.
Exactly. You know, even last year when I was after leaving Gulfstream Park, I'd go back home in Florida at the condo, and I'd be putting on Turfway. I know some horses are running at Churchill, and I'd be watching these races, and it gets to the point where it's just like 12-horse fields and these 30-to-1 shots coming in, and you look at the form and like, I just don't see it. So then basically you can stretch around and get really goofy at Turfway and hope to hit a boxcar numbers on pick 5, you know, for a little money. But again, to me, that's more like spinning the roulette wheel than actual handicapping.
So we've got about 5-6 minutes before Gulfstream Park race number 3. So actually we're counting on you here for race number 8. So for this qualifier, I'm counting on you as well. So what do you like here?
The pressure's on. I see.
The pressure is on.
You're going to make me. I'm going to choke under pressure here. Now, I just wanted to point out one horse, and before everyone falls off their chair, and said he's pulling another crazy horse out of his hat. Put it that way. So, this is a wide open race. What we're dealing with here is a mile optional claimer for state breds. These are hard-hitting horses. They're veterans. They've been around a while. And this is a race I like to handicap. I mean, this is like a puzzle. They've each got, you've got horses with 40 starts, 17, 13, 25, so on. So you've got a lot of data there, right? And this is where your EquinEdge does help you, because you got the more data, the more reliable result or prediction, in my opinion, obviously, with analytics. So this is such a wide open race. This is a fun race. Now, the slop does make this crazy horse of mine a little more appealing. So let me go right at the crazy horse first, and then I'll talk about who I really like. But I just am a little intrigued, and I know, make sure everybody's sitting down, make sure you have your cardiologist on call. Don't panic and don't start cursing and swearing at me and telling me I'm an idiot, because my wife says that all the time. So I'm used to that. But just take a look at, and hear me out just for a second and entertain me, maybe humor me. Okay. Look at the 8, Allure of Money.
I knew it was going to be the only horse I eliminated. Look at what's at the bottom of my screen.
Right.
Okay. Oh my God. Here we go.
I understand. Okay. If you look at this horse's last 2 races, this is a central banker who's has a very good success rate as a sire with these New York breds. I'm just going to look at the last 2 races. September 23rd, Finger Lakes Sloppy Track. It's a stakes race, the L. Reed Memorial. Again, it's Finger Lakes. It's a lower stakes race for New York breds. And this horse, granted, it was a 6-horse field. Have you heard of Rotney, who's a hard-hitting sprinter?
No.
If you're a New Yorker, anybody horseplay who plays New York a lot, Rotney is a solid sprinter. This horse, Allure of Money, was bet down to 10-to-1 in a. So this horse, to me, based on again, its form and the layoff should have been a little higher price. Okay. But with that being said, this horse slammed into foe, trouble line, that start. Totally eliminate that race. Then stretched out to 1.1 1/8. And this horse has run before at 1.1 1/8 in a stakes race back in 23 in the Albany. And in my opinion, this horse was overmatched, was 16-1, and doesn't really want to go 1.1 1/8. So this horse had a trouble line. It's bet at 28-1, hit gate, no impact. So to me, you throw both of those races out and point out the October 24th race was at Aqueduct. And there's a couple of horses in this race, Bourbon Chase and Two's a Crowd, that competed against. So they got two races that are throwouts, completely throwouts. If you go back in form, this horse is really a Finger Lakes horse, right? You look at its last race, July 8th at Finger Lakes. If she runs, he runs this race, the horse is going to be competitive. I just think it may be a little slower, but I just think you got trouble lines, you got excuses. So to me, this is an intrigue. 7 for 14 lifetime, 2 for 2 at the distance. When you tell me there's a horse in a race 30-1, hasn't lifted a hoof the last two, third race off a layoff, sloppy track, bad distance, but a 7 for 14 lifetime, sign me up. I'm going to use this horse somehow on one of my tickets. I know it's unlikely, but I am going to go there. The other contenders, I mean, it's such a wide open race, so you can use anybody. But the other horse I settled on, which would be my top pick, is a horse off a bad trip. This horse is.
Wait, the 8's not even your top pick. You gave us 5 minutes of the 8. That's not even your top pick.
I don't know if I can use. If this was a live event, I would probably reserve my total judgment until 2 minutes before post. See if the horse is taking any money at all. But I will use it on one ticket, and I might even get ballsy enough to use it on if I only have one entry. But the other horse I like is probably the more logical horse is Colloquy, the 4 horse for Jorge Abreu. This horse was just eliminated the last time out. Leapt up, start, non-starter, just ran for purse money. Actually, it was, I guess, didn't get out of the gate, held by the assistant starters. And that's a total throwout. Claimed off of 32, a win at 1.1 1/8 on a good track. This horse has won on and off track. Hard-hitting horse, been around for a while. Tom Morley had this horse for a while. With success. Horse is very versatile.
We're going to come back to this race. Let me cut you off.
Sure, I'm sorry. I'm going too long.
Like an hour and a half on this race, and the race is about to take off at Gulfstream.
Okay, sorry. That being said, I spent 20 minutes on a long shot that I'm not using.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, I've got the 4 here. Great Valenzuela. Everyone else does 1 to 5, but you're taking a risk on the 6 horse. All right, let's get over to Gulfstream Park. And here's the 3rd.
All right, good luck, everybody.
And we talked about the 2 horse and the 6 horse and the 4 all being equally as fast. So it'd be interesting what happens in the beginning of this race.
And they're off.
A level beginning. Flirtadia fired out too quickly. Great Venezuela is her outside. They spread across the backstretch. Glitter up. I get 3 across the early stages as Judge Judith is running just off the top trio there in 4th. Breaking through the legs to Royal Poppy. She's the back marker.
I don't think the jockey on the 4 had a choice. I think in this situation he had to go.
Yeah.
You know, and this could set it up for a horse to come from behind.
Yeah, I mean, these 3 could get burnt out, but the 6 is on the pace now too. But he's wide.
Flat.
Tries to get in gear, and Royal Poppy still last.
And your 6 is running a good race.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it's Royal Poppy. Royal Poppy wins.
Look at this one. 5 is coming as well, but no.
Yeah, that's the 5. The horse I said watch out for, but she's not going to get up today. But
might get second.
Venezuela maintaining the margin in deep stretch. Great Venezuela is gone again.
Very close for second between the 6 and the 5.
Great Venezuela.
Wow, I don't know.
No, that's a tight one.
Yeah, I can't even call that one. But your favorite wins that race going away. All right, let's get back to
the race I'm spending 45 minutes on.
Your commentary on this race.
All right, I'll make it short and sweet from now on. So I'm going to use 2 horses. The one is going to be a long shot, and that would be the 8, Allure of Money. It's just I have there's excuses for this horse, and it's a crazy wild horse, but I won't let that horse. I will have that horse if she hits the board. He hits the board.
So
But
let me get this right. So in the 8 horse is lost by 27.5 and 20.5 in the last couple of races, and the 4 horse did a DNF in its last race. Those are your top 2 picks?
That's my ice cold exact. When you get 200, you get 200 to 1 on an exacta. I'm like, that's, to me, that's ice cold. That's a boom ice cold. That's a double. But yeah, I know it seems illogical, but my issue is, Scotty, you have a lot of horses who've been around a long time here, hard hitting veterans. Take Bourbon Chase for an example, 2 for 17 with 9 seconds. Take a look at Brewpub, 4 for 48 with 12 seconds. Take a look at Shadow Dragon, 2 for 15. Two's a Crowd, who I think is a big contender, who I would use in any horizontals, 2 for 10. Mighty Atlas is off a win last time on a muddy track is going to be really tough. But at the 5 to 2 doesn't thrill me. And I think Engineer Empire has a shot too, cutting back from 1 1/8 to a better distance. Even though the horse has won at 1 1/8, and this is an Empire maker, so the slop could move this horse up. So don't get me wrong, this is a wide open race. I'm just looking again for value here. And actually, by the way, in the 6th race, the 6 did get up for second at 8 to 1. So it's 4-6, 1 to 9 over 8 to 1.
Yeah, thank you for that. So the 6 horse 2's a Crowd. I admittedly, I don't love the drop in GSR. Very rarely will I play horses like this, but it did show some speed going long last time out. It beat a field similar to this, going 8 furlongs. I like the cut back here to 8. From the 9 furlongs, it went 9 furlongs last time, and then slowed up late. So Castellano jumps aboard. I think that this horse deserves a look just as much as any of them. The 2 horse Bourbon Chase is probably going to be your favorite, but it's burned too much money. I agree. You made the point. It's dropping in win percentage. It's dropping in GSR. It's facing tougher. So I have to play against that horse. Shadow Dragon is 25%. This is an interesting horse, to be fair. It's run 8 furlongs in 7 of its last 8 races, or 6 of its last 7 races, and it's not won one of them. So I just can't play that horse, and it's had good win percentages, David, in every one of those races. So I can see why you're looking at some of the horses that you're looking at.
Right.
What about the 7 horse? I mean, it doesn't look terrible. I mean, it won last time out. It seemingly beat a better field than what it's facing today. That was on a muddy track. Can this horse win this race?
Yeah, I mean, it's a contender, obviously. And at 5 to 2, I don't love the horse, but it runs back to his last race. Santana's not here. Franco picks up the mount. 3rd race off a layoff, off a win last time at 5 to 1, beating. Hold on a second. Yeah, beating Shadow Dragon and Bourbon Chase, 2 horses in this race. And the reason I can't play Shadow Dragon, that horse is the ultimate definition of a money burner, right? You look at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times as a favorite losing. Yeah. Okay. And some of these 2nd place finishes and one by a nose, one by a neck, just seems to doesn't have speed, makes one run and is at the mercy of the pace. Obviously a contender. This horse could easily win for Belmont, but it wouldn't surprise me if this horse runs a bang up race and runs a 2nd or 3rd. So I don't want any part of that horse at that price. And I've been beaten. This horse has disappointed me so many times. I've had this horse and just comes up short. So also Cable Ready, cutting back from turf to dirt is an unknown. Has won on the dirt at Finger Lakes and is a Bernardini. Hold on a second. It's not a Bernardini. I'm looking at the wrong horse.
It's Redisdale.
Redisdale, right out of Spagstown. Dynaformers, probably bred more for turf. So that made me settle on a little bit of a better price. Colloquy, I think he's just as good or just as talented. 7 for 25, 9 for 12, hitting the board at Aqueduct. Likes the track. You got Pratt, and so again off of a race where non-starter. So, but I'd put that horse on top. So it's 4, and then I need my long shot 8 for lower money. So I'm looking for 2 prices there.
Now, what about the 9-horse Engineer Empire? I mean, this horse second off the layoff. I mean, you mentioned that, but do you? I mean, Rosario jumps aboard. Dylan Davis is off. Do you think Dylan Davis was taken off? I mean, or Dylan Davis chose to get on the 2-horse Bourbon Chase?
No, I would think that Dylan probably had his choice and went to Bourbon Chase. I am not sure of what to make of the 9. It could be a usable horse. The race that this horse won, it's a year ago at mile and 1/8 was again was a real kind of a slow pace, stalked the pace and drew off easy at 4-1. That's a pretty good race though, and off a layoff. That's a long layoff, and the horse was bet actually less than 2-1 in that field against these Bourbon Chase and Two's a Crowd. So, yeah, I mean, it's a contender. I couldn't throw that horse out.
Yeah. Now, Franco and Dylan Davis are the only ones that ever ridden this horse, and they both are on the 7 and the 2-horse. Both of those horses are Mike Maker horses. I mean, they look okay. I mean, Bourbon. Yeah. I mean, but Bourbon Chase is just no way a horse I could ever play. I mean, it's had high win percentages and it did win 1 race against a group like this. But I mean, this is not a horse that you can trust, right?
Yeah, we're on the same page, Scotty. Would it shock me if this horse won and paid $9, $10? No, this horse was twice again another money burner. I'm looking at the last 2 races. This horse was favored and didn't get the job done. Runs a good race every time though. The last 1, 2, 3, last like 5 or 6 races, even off the layoff, this horse runs and fires. And again, 2 for 17 with 9 seconds. It's probably more likely that this horse finishes 2nd or 3rd, in my opinion.
I think I found an angle here. So if you look at the 7 Mighty Atlas, and so 5 back it wins, 4 back it wins, then it is a step slow, was wide, 5 path on the quarter, and it only lost by 3 lengths. It obviously had issues. It went on the shelf for a couple of months. Comes back and goes 9 furlongs, and it got tired after the stretch and ends up losing by 5.5 lengths. If you throw out that 9 furlongs, then comes back and wins last time out, going 8 furlongs on a muddy track here at BAQ, so Aqueduct essentially, and now comes back. I got to imagine the 7 horse is the horse to beat.
I agree. 7 horse is a horse to beat. And off that last race, this horse will be the favorite. And it is clearly 2 for 2 on a wet track. This horse will probably be 2-1. Maybe
I would make the 6 my top pick, but the only reason why I'm going to play it for second is only because of the GSR dropping. It's just I just can't get myself to do that. So okay. Race number 8 here. I'm going with the 7 Mighty Atlas. I hate to go with what I don't know. Who knows? We might get 3-1 on that horse.
You think so? I think I'm going to predict 9-5, 2-1.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
All right.
What do you think the 8 will go off at?
I think the 8's going to go off at. Well, I mean, it's won 7 races and 14 lifetime races. I think probably at 25-1, 20-1.
Okay.
Yeah. Do you? How did you end up doing in the feeder?
I needed glitter. If Glitter Up had gotten there, I may have been on the bubble, but I'm sure I didn't get there. Let me just check. So the top 34 were going in. It's won by Stephen McNatton. I finished 85th. Yeah.
Okay.
Out of 173 entries. Yeah. So I'm off the board with that. So, but
how about we go to Aqueduct race number 9? Unless you want to, is there anything at Aqueduct race number 4 that you like that we can all bet?
This maiden claimer for 50, I will pass this race. And even though I did say I was playing a 6, the next 2 races at Aqueduct, I'm really not that interested in. So yeah, we can keep going. Unless we have a demand to watch the race, it's up to you guys.
I'm looking. James Ryerson is here's one of those. Well, this horse is only 10% to win. James Ryerson is 10% to win with first-time starter.
Okay, 1 minute to post. I didn't realize that.
I mean, this horse is the 4-horse looks very, very tough to beat. This is an interesting works. These are interesting works for the EquinEdge long shot. I know it's low percentage connections. I think the 4 is going to win the race. I don't necessarily think the 3 has to get second. The works, they're okay. Nothing is really screaming anything. This is kind of a nice work, 53 of 178. But I feel like this work here, 57 of 155, I feel like they know that this horse is a decent animal. Look at this right now. How is the 5-horse 9-1 into a horse that's 2-5, into the 3-horse, a first-time starter with some, top connections? It's interesting to me. And then you have the 2-horse here. You have to throw this race out. How do you handle horses like this that run so poorly in their first start? Is there any indicator here that shows that this horse might run a better race here? It's 9. Why is this horse? Another thing is, within this group that looks decent for the level, how the heck is this horse 9-1 on the EE morning line? Should we be at 29-1? Maybe should we be using this horse in the second or third spots for the exacta and try?
The 2? Absolutely. Yeah. Oh, this 2 can't run. 62-1 at Parks, and now it's shipping up here. I have no idea. Unless they know something, the horse has got slow works. I'm puzzled.
Are you from Oklahoma or are you from New York? Because you said I have no idea.
Oh, did I say that?
I have no idea.
I have no idea, man.
Yeah. Arkansas, Oklahoma, I beg you for.
When you give me a horse that is, you're busting me about a Laura Money, who I think has an excuse. You give me a horse that's got absolutely zero chance to win. You kind of threw me off there. So
okay, now I'm vested in this race. I'm going to say the 2 horse is going to get second or third. I've got to now we have to watch the race, and not only that, we have a big favorite. I'm curious. Okay, I'll let me task you with this. You have the 3 and the 5, 2 first-time starters, the only 2 first-time starters in the race, and your life is dependent on it. Which one are you betting?
The 3.
Okay.
The Constitution, first time on the sloppy track.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah, I think the 3. So just for disclosure, I did squeeze a pick 6 ticket in.
Okay.
For $24.
4?
I used the 3 and the 4.
You used 3 and 4. Okay.
3 and 4. Yes.
Listen, how about the 7-horse? Why is the 7-horse only 5-1 right now? What is going on here?
Well,
I'm just saying, like, that's pretty low considering you got the first-time starter at 4-1. You've got the 4 horses getting so much action. I mean, that's pretty low for a horse that was 15-1 in the odds makers morning line, albeit 2 scratches. I get it.
Yeah.
But let's see if they're taking the blinkers off. They tried last time. They are not. The horse was just gelded. Take a guess what the win percentage chance is of a horse that was just gelded.
Yeah, I don't love it. And this is a Gervin. I'm not sure the dam is Noble Jewel. Whether this horse, again, you're going to find a lot of these horses now at Aqueduct. Horses that are on turf who are like trying dirt. I don't really want any part of them. Usually either these horses are staying here and waiting to 2026 for the Tapeta.
Yeah.
or shipping down to Gulfstream if they have any ability. So, I mean, if you're going to have horses here and they're really turf horses, why not try them on the dirt once, right?
Yeah.
Not for me. There's too many unknowns here with this 7. But again, there was a scratch of the 6 who would have taken money. So I think that's a factor. I think this horse would have easily been 8 or 10-1 without the scratch of the 6.
So 4 looks dominant in this race physically. I'm looking at the race right now. I'm sorry, you guys, we can't show you this race. Actually, 2 makes a nice appearance on the track at 31-1. And I thought that the 3 horse just looked okay. The 7 just looked okay. It looks like a horse that wants longer, actually. 3 horses going into the gate, like I said, just looks average to me. I haven't seen the 5 yet. 4 horse looks absolutely dominant. But actually, balking it going into the gate goes in 1-4 right now. And 7 does look like it wants to go longer. 5 looks okay.
Yeah.
The odds of the horse,
partial to constitution horses, especially on wet tracks, probably needs more distance, but I think that's the only two that I want here. All right, good luck, everybody.
Four got a flyer out of the gate. 3 broke last.
Oh, yeah.
Very good.
Good.
Ryan, the answer to this question is when horses get gelded and run next time out, they're 11% to win. 5 is running very nicely. 2's on the rail. 3 is well behind. 7 seems to be struggling, trying to keep up.
So 4's got about a 2-length lead going to the far turn. The 3's making a move now from way back, but probably not enough, way too back early.
4's not been asked yet.
This 3's flying, Scotty.
He is, but the 4's not stopping. So
yeah, and 3's going wide too. Yeah, 4 has got a ton of horse. It's going to be a 4-3 exact at the 2 chalks.
2 didn't run bad. 2 didn't run bad, but going to have to settle for it.
Don't say that until the horse crosses the finish line.
Yeah, no.
The horse crossed. Okay, I agree. Maybe the slot moved her up a little bit.
Yeah, see, you take the horse's manhood and they only win 11% of the time.
Right, exactly.
That doesn't seem worth it. Good
well, at least they're probably a little more well-behaved, right?
Yeah. Why did you even waste money on covering 2? You're playing a $24 ticket. You need all the singles you can get, and you cover 2 horses in this leg when the 4 horse was like clearly the best horse by far.
Can I remind you of one thing, my friend?
Yes, please.
Will you acknowledge that the 3 did go off dead last? And if the 3 got off to a better start, it may have been a closer race.
Yes.
Look at it this way. In my
longer. I don't think I will say this. You're right about that, but I think that it was a slow break. I think that this horse might not be the best breaker, and it's going to do better going longer.
I agree. However, I will point out that I used 2 horses in the pick 6. And they finished 1-2. That's all I'm going to.
True.
I'm not going any further.
Whatever.
I'm not saying I didn't have a huge exacta like Matt Miller, but I'm not even going to go there. But
yeah,
I don't usually. And again, I have an issue, and maybe it's just me, and I'm sure it's just me.
You set yourself up for that one, but I was being nice right there.
Yes. That I won't. I am very reluctant singling a 1-9 or 1-5 or a 1-4 shot. I just don't want to. I would more likely playing a successful cashing pick 6 is singling a 5-1 or an 8-1.
Fairgrounds opening day is today, and they're at the gate here for race number 1 in the opener. And me and Justin in the weekend preview show last night covered races 5 and 7. So you might want to watch that video on YouTube. And also, I will tell you this: no bullshit. I felt like we did a hell of handicapping. I have a feeling there's going to be a lot of winners from what we gave out yesterday. So you might want to. It wasn't a long show. I want to say an hour and a half maybe, but you might want to check some of those plays out if you haven't seen that show. So, but races, we did cover races 5 and 7. Those are 2 state bred races here at Fairgrounds. Another thing to know about Fairgrounds, David, I don't know if you knew this or not at Fairgrounds, and I'm going to put this on, and we'll they're at the gate, but the stretch is super long. Did you know it's the longest in North America?
Yeah, I was just going to say I'm going to predict that you're going to say it's the longest stretch in North America, but I'm not sure if it is. But I know it's a very long stretch.
Oh, no,
I know that
the longest in North America. Yeah. It's not. It's the longest. It's super, super long, which means that it helps horses to come from behind that normally can't get up. So when you like a horse, you see maybe some cheap speed, and a horse that comes from behind. That means that the jockey doesn't have to ask so hard to keep the horse close to the pace when its natural style is to come from behind, and it doesn't have enough to finish because it was used up to stay close to the pace. So you'll get horses to come from behind on this track, and so
the reason,
right?
Yeah, the reason I do know that Scotty, is so many times I've been burnt at fairgrounds. Yeah, again, most of my play, in all honesty, at fairgrounds happens NHC weekend. But I've been burned so many times, like, this horse got a 4-length lead coming down the stretch. I'm like, come on, wire, wire, wire. And I don't get to the wire. And I get
the
last
10 or the 5.
jumps.
The 10 has no speed. I mean, none. And drawing an outside post. But I think this is the type of horse that we're talking about. And the same with the 5. The 5 has a little bit more speed than the 10. But there's some speed in here, and that could help. I'm curious. The 10's in last right now. And they're flying up front. And don't forget, you've got this long stretch. I'm curious to see how the 10 runs in here. But we'll see what happens here. But right now, they're flying up front, both the 8 and the 3. And they went 23-1. I got to believe that's super fast going 8 furlongs for this level. Oh, that's right. Thank you, James. We got GP4 coming up. When?
Yes. Thank you.
Minutes. Okay.
Yes,
are you going to give us the winner in that race?
Oh, no, I'm not going to give out the horse. Are you kidding me?
Oh,
Matt Miller's on. Matt Miller's on. I don't want. Yeah, if Matt scared me. I'm not giving out anybody. I'm just going to watch the race. In all honesty, I'll give out the horse. I don't. The horse that I really, and I'm not going to analyze the race, but people who've listened to me before know as soon as I'm going to tell you the trainer is Eddie Plisa, who I've had so much success with at Gulfstream Park.
For now, focus in on the 5 horse. We talked about, let's just see, this is a fast pace. Let's just see if the 8 stops and see if these horses close. Okay. So 8's is gonna stop. And yeah, you've got closers that are coming. The 9's gonna end up getting the best of the 8. And the 1 horse is gonna catch the 8.
Yep.
Look at that 10 horse actually made a lot of ground up. But you know what I see there? I see a very fair track from what I can see. They went very fast up front. And look, they went 141 for that race. So 141 on a mile. So that's actually slow, right? So is the track playing deep? I don't know. But 141 for 8 furlongs.
That sounds real slow.
Right?
Hey, don't forget, though, Scotty, it's a $5,000 claimer, right?
Yeah, no doubt. But that's pretty slow. Yes. All right. So we've got Gulfstream Park race number 4 coming up. So what we need to do, we need to get one of these qualifiers in. So how about we go to Aqueduct race number 9?
Okay, Aqueduct race number 9. I'm only going single here. So if this is the pick 6 race and I'm advancing successfully, I am going to be sitting here with a single.
Okay.
And that single is, drum roll, please. And that single is number 4, Big Rich. This horse is turf, 2 dirt, hasn't lifted a hoof in the prior races. This is Jeremiah Engelhardt. You're going from a maiden special on the turf or any of the maiden specials this horse has run. Ran earlier this year in open company, 2 races at Gulfstream, shipped his horse for some reason down to Gulfstream, comes back off a layoff, I think this horse has just been over his head in every race. And, cuts back now. I like the cutback in these 7 furlong races. I'm looking normally for a horse who's gone or had experience, not necessarily has won at a distance, but I like the cutback. So this horse has had 2 races at a mile, also 2 races earlier this year at a mile and 16th. Now cuts back to 7. Hopefully can be a little closer to the pace in those previous races. But when I went through this race, I think this race is from hunger. The other logical horse, if you want to use, is probably the 5 Judge Rules just for consistency. But there's so many chances at the 40 level. Drops down to the bottom at 30 here. It's just a weak race, I think. On the drop down, Big Rich picks up Carmouche. Carmouche wouldn't stay on this horse, a cheap horse like this, unless he thought it had a big shot. So I'm all over the 4 as a single. Big Rich.
All right. David is on the 4. By the way, I agree with you that the 4 horse has a big look. It's dropping in. This is the biggest drop in horse racing, except it is a state bred, but still it's dropping from a 50 SOR to a 44 SOR, from 5% to 19%, and from a 61 GSR to a 68 GSR. And Engelhardt is first race back 19%, but first race with the horse only 7%, and 27% second race back, and 50%. Whoa, I've never seen that. Let's look at that again.
Oh, I have that note here. You stole my thunder. Hold on a second. That's another. I'm sorry. There's another. Go ahead. It's another race. Believe it or not.
Okay. First race with the horse, Engelhardt Jeremiah is 7%. Okay. First race with a horse. Second race with a horse. I got to look at it again. 50%. That's insane.
Yep.
That's just absolutely insane. And he's the same with first race back is 19% and second race back 27%. Like everything is pointing towards this 4 horse. What we need to do is just look at who's going to be the favorites in this race to see if they're vulnerable, because the 3 horse is probably going to be the favorite. And it doesn't necessarily put the 4 in the winner's circle, but the 4 is going to clearly run a good race, and it's also EquinEdge's second pick. But here's a horse for Linda Rice who's looking pretty darn good. Second off a long layoff, dropping in class, win percentage goes way up, but the GSR goes way up too, David. This is a race between the 4 and the 5.
Yeah, actually, the 3 comes out of the same race as the 4, and I don't think. Again, no, I think the 3 is probably more turf meant, being in Omaha Beach, which is out of Warfront. So it's a negative more for the 3, in my opinion, that didn't run well in that turf race than the 4, who I think is more of a dirt horse.
The GSR, but the GSR on the 3 horse goes from 52 in its last race to 69 today. So clearly, and I'm looking at the tab, because don't forget, you got the bottom side as well, and it looks like the horse can pretty much do any surface. But I think that maybe what the problem is, well, 7 furlongs on the dirt. It's going from 8 furlongs on the turf, 52, and then 7 furlongs on the dirt is 69. So, hey, Mike. What's up, David? What's up, Willie?
Hey, guys. Hey, Mike. Hey, Willie. How's it going?
So it's very, very interesting. Like, man, that's a tough one. I was hoping it would be easy on me. I don't like the 8 horse, and the race simulator has the 8 pretty good. But to me, this race is between the 3 and the 4. Although the race simulator has the 5 horse. Look at the 5 horses going up 10 points in GSR, getting on the dirt. What do you make of the 5 judge rules? It's 9-1 on the EE morning line.
Yeah, that's the other logical horse here, just based on the consistency. I mean, this horse is not a world beater, but does cut back from turf again. Now is on dirt, but this horse has had some decent races back early this year and maiden special weights on dirt. So there's so many questions here in spotty form. And I think those are the 2 logical horses that are, not going to be of any price, but to me, they're must uses, both of them.
So Judge got American League MVP. What do you think about that, David? Are you a Judge fan?
Yes, I am. I'm a huge Judge fan. Just a little disappointed on his playoff and World Series production, but in all honesty, again, these pitchers and managers of these opposing teams, they're concentrating on getting Judge and Soto out, right? So he's going to see the best pitching. It's a little different than regular season. So I give the guy.
The thing is I don't know that we can even say that. He was so far off. His timing was so far off. You threw him a curveball and he was completely lost. I mean, he really had a bad World Series.
Hey, are you busting my hero there?
No.
But I will tell you this: he is going to be known more for that drop fly ball in center field in that debacle of that 5th inning in the last game, because I was shocked. That's the first error he's made in the outfield on a fly ball all year long.
Yeah.
And it's just, you got to produce in big spots. And so that's going to be a little spot on his legacy there that is not going away, right? Unfortunately.
So, David, we got to get to the fourth race. We're not going to get to Woodbine, Willie, because David's going to give us all a 100% winner. I'm struggling between the 3 and the 4. I mean, because you saw the stat with the 4 horse. Engelhardt is 50% with second time starters, and with first time or second time having a horse. With first time with the horse, he's 7%. That's just such a massive difference. I mean, you're going to see it. So he clearly gave this horse the race. And now it drops in. Like I'm struggling with this, man. I don't know.
Yeah.
But the 3 horse equally looks really good. This could go either way. Which horse gets the best trip? But so 3 or 4, I don't know. Right now I'm going to put in the 3, but I don't know with that kind of stat with Engelhardt. I don't know how I can not use the 4 horse. But the 3 is also a horse to watch. It's Linda Rice, Liscano. What a tough one. But all right, so we've covered 4 of the 10 races now in the qualifier, but why don't we get out to Gulfstream Park, race number 4, and no pressure, but we're expecting a winner here.
Yeah, I'm a little disappointed. I believe that, wow, I didn't anticipate this. Did I give this horse out already?
Uh-oh.
I didn't anticipate the price. This horse just got pounded. So now that makes me pull off a little bit of my opinion, but the board will probably even out. But should I get right to? Let's see.
Yeah, I was like I was going to go like this with my watch, but I don't have a watch on.
Okay, there you go. Well, I do have my watch.
I had 2 watches, but only won both of them. Yeah. Okay. You're evidently be better on me because you're clearly not using it.
My watch.
Yeah.
No, you're really mean today. I'm gonna. Okay, you're gonna be in for it the rest of the show. You know that.
Okay.
You know that, my friend. And then again, my watch is a $74 Timex, so don't get out of control here. But
the horse, you're setting yourself up today, but I'm not saying anything.
Okay. Well, just because of your attitude, I'm not giving out the horse.
Okay. I'm sorry, everybody. That's on me. Okay, I apologize.
All right, so here we go. The horse that just stuck out at me here is, and again, this is normally not a key play for me in a maiden race, but I had watched this horse. Oh, geez, where are my notes? So I'm just going to get right to it. I may be talking off the cuff here because I can't find my notes on this horse, but the horse is the 5. Now is Any Moment. That's Eddie Police's horse. This horse hit the gate, bumped, big trouble line last time out, was 2-1 in a 7-horse field. Supposedly the win-win-wins are good, are going to be good. So far as a sire, win-win-win is the real deal. I kind of got that opinion early on Not This Time, and it's turned out right. Eddie Police is real good with young horses, first time, second time starters. His other horse, the 3, Lily Bird, is 2 synthetic races and could improve here. The one now this is a $50,000 maiden. So yeah, Eddie's dropping a horse who was 2-1 in a maiden special weight to a 50 claimer, but I just think a lot of these horses may not have much ability here. So I think the 5's a really solid play here.
Look at this too, David. 14% with first-time starters, Edward Pliza. Look at the second-time starters. 30%.
Exactly.
So, right. So you can, and here's the other thing too is the GSR is going up. The win percentage actually drops a little bit, but on paper this race looks tough. It is facing easier, but the workouts look just fine. I think the 5 looks good. Lady Bird, interestingly, Edward's other horse is actually getting play and is the EquinEdge top pick. So maybe we can see a Pliza exacta box. What do you think?
Yeah, I could go that direction, or I may have gone that direction already.
Now, we talked about this. I don't love the outside post position here going 1 turn over at Gulfstream Park, but the 8 horse, the EquinEdge long shot, is also 27% to win, top pace number. It looks like it could get a clear lead from the beginning. It's 5-2 E morning line. This horse right now is 9-1, David.
Yes, and let me just add this too. Again, I didn't anticipate the 5 being 2-1. I'm figuring 5-2, 3-1, 7-2, which is fine. But the other reason is that the horse who won that maiden special weight race on July 26th, Andrea, had come back and won again in a small 2-year-old stakes race. So that could be a key race. I am a little concerned, like I said, with the drop to 50, but I think that this horse just may romp here.
Yeah.
But we have, and I wouldn't be shocked if I could get beaten by a Safi Joseph Firat Ortiz horse, though. But yeah, so now the prices it's going back up to now where I like it. The 5 looks good on the track, on her toes. Yeah, 5-2, 3-1 is what I'm looking for, what I expected.
Yeah. Yeah, the Reyes gets off of the 8 horse and goes on the 3 horse. But the thing is, the 3 horse might be decent, but it's GSRs are actually kind of low, whereas the 5 horse, I would, and Zayas sticks with this horse. I would agree with you, by the way. I think you're giving us all a really good play. I think the 5 is going to be the horse to beat.
We hope. Yeah. Mike, see, sometimes these hunch plays just get in your head. There you go. And sometimes, like I said, you're at a loss, and maybe the universe is sending you something today. That's what my daughter would say. But she said, "Don't look. If the universe is sending you something, maybe you should just play it."
Let's make this your final boarding call for the Rainbow at 6.
They're at the gate.
Well, the estimated 200.
That sounds like Gabe Pruitt.
Marching towards $250 million. This is your
yes, it does. It's not Mr. Aiello.
Nope. Probably getting ready for the championship meet.
I'm sure he is.
Yep.
He's testing out the vocal cords as we speak.
All right, loading into the gate.
All right.
Success is next.
I always look forward to these shows, David.
Oh, yeah, I have a blast doing
it.
Yeah.
On Fridays, during the day, when everyone else is working, we're sitting there talking horses. I always
these bastards, those poor bastards, right? But we're working. Just something we love doing. That's the difference, right? Yeah.
Just 2 left to load for the 4th.
I was going to say, I love this so much. I would work for free, but then my agent just always tells me I can't do that.
Yeah, no, exactly.
They're at the post.
You're worth too much. Your information is invaluable. Safi's got that first time start of the 2 horse that just broke last. And the fact that Zayas isn't aboard, I was just going to say I'd play against. But the 1 horse broke very good, first time starter from the rail. That doesn't happen very often.
Yeah, that's Milky Way.
Moving up on the outside as they move towards the far turn.
And then Lady Bird sitting in second. The 5 horse sitting in third on the outside with Zayas certainly looks good. I think
this horse.
If this one goes,
we saw a horse go wire to wire here earlier at Gulfstream. This may be a speed track, and like you said, I mean on the dirt. Oldie pointed out that the speed is good. It doesn't look like.
Yeah, they're not catching this horse. Look at this horse went off at 7-1. So somebody.
Yeah.
As they move towards the top of the stretch, it's all Lynn's.
Wow.
She is bloated wide open as they pass.
Oh, they got one by, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. And the 5's under the whip and not running. Not good at all.
Decisive lead through the
5, no excuses. Hey, how about the 2 horse Executive Success who's going to get second after such a poor break?
Lynn's Milky Way.
Right?
Yeah. I misjudged that one.
That horse broke horrible to finish second. It's pretty amazing. Slew Diva 10-1. That was the horse to watch. Got third, but wow.
That's the second race we've seen a wire to wire, right? So we saw in the first race Cajun Anthem.
Yeah.
Wire to wire, slower fractions. Now we got another wire job. So again, I'm making the conclusion now that I want speed here. I don't want inside speed, Oldie, no doubt. But with that being said, the 5 had no excuse. The 5 just wasn't good enough.
All right, so let's get out to. We got Aqueduct race number 5 coming up in a couple of minutes. We want we got Gulfstream Park race number 8. We have to do as well. Let's see. Let's take a look and see. You know, I'm following this 6 horse, Princess Mischief. So horse I have a note on. I don't have the note. I don't know where the note went, but I am following this horse. I saw the pop up today. It's a very. I think the 6 horse is probably a horse that maybe is worth a bet. But look at the blues here on the arrows, David. Like they're just everybody's finishing. And this horse gets off of the rail, gets more distance. Rosario's aboard.
Yeah, the horse I liked is 2-1. This is not like me here. All right. Well, for my pick 6, I will tell you, who did I use? I went 3 deep. 3, 6, 8 in my pick 6. 3, 6, 8 here in the 5th. I don't love the race, but used a price with Misselli off horse that ran for purse money only last time out. Yeah. And the 6, Honest Mischief and Twirling Lulu, second race off of layoffs, going from turf back to dirt. And that's a Twirling Candy who probably wants the dirt. So
I would think the 4 horse is kind of dead on the board. I mean, this first time started with 7-2 EE morning line, or the 5-2 EE morning line, 7-2 odds makers morning line, currently 9-2. The 8 horse tour, like I don't think people would know where to bet.
Right.
And I know this horse ran a decent race last time out, talking about the 8 horse Twirling Lulu, but that was on the turf. This Correct. Is a completely different race. So
exactly,
like horses, and the horse is dropping big in GSR. The one Wild Mischief is dropping big time in GSR, 10 points as well. So I'm trying to beat that horse from the outside, which honestly, those are the top 3 EquinEdge picks. That leaves me with the 6 horse. So I got in 4-1 right now. I'll take that. So I actually, for me, I try to beat the 8 and 9, and I would do like maybe a 2, 4, 6 exacta box. Either way, if that comes in, you win.
Right. But the thing is, too, don't forget Twirling Lulu, although turf race last time out, the only dirt race was fractures behind the gate. And also in the turf race, the trouble line, too, bump start. So 2 trouble lines now goes back to the surface that it probably wants and has a really good workout on October 18th. So with that being said, I'm just going to be back in 2 minutes. Enjoy the race. I just got to take a break for a second. All right. Okay. Good luck, everybody.
Chris, to answer your question on Bruno, I honestly don't know. We're probably only going to have Bruno workouts for another, I think, maybe 10 days to the end of the month. We have new EE analysis that's coming out that we're going to be releasing about that same time. So I've not really been following it all that closely. I've been focused on the team, on building the EE analysis, not only on many of the horses for each race, but also for certain workouts too. So pretty excited about this release coming, and that'll expand and continue to get better and better. I'll explain more of that throughout the next few weeks, but look for that to come. In this race here, again, I've got a 2, 4, 6 exacta box. I'm following the 6. I think the 6 can run a good race here. They're going 6.5 furlongs. Billy's 2 years old, $75,000 purse. Four broke dead last, unfortunately. 2 did break good. And Forever to Go is on the lead. 6 didn't break bad. but is in last right now. I mean, 2's clearly going to win this race. The 4 is finishing pretty fast after that break. 6 has a nice stride right now as well, but is pretty far back. And 8's not giving up. 2 needs to change leads. Here comes the 6 horse. Whoa. There we go. We're going to hit this exact. Even the 4 might get third and hit the trifecta. 6 going to win.
Come on with that 6. Come on with that 6.
Get up for third, 4. Give us the try. There we go. All right.
All right, we're still alive. There you go.
There we go.
$24 tickets still has some life.
How did that pay? That's 6 to exacta paid $30. Wow. We will take that.
We got an Englehart.
All right. What's up, Justin? That 6 was absolutely loaded. What's up, brother?
Hey, Justin. Oh, you have power. Good deal. Now, I was wondering if you would be affected by that storm. You saw that on local news, the national news the other night. It's like, oh, I know you live out there. Stay safe out there, man.
That was a good run by the 6. That's a horse I was following, David. Sometimes it helps to follow a horse. You can't see it on paper, but the horse came back and ran a huge race. So Rosario might be rounding into form. He's been running good.
He has been, yep. And now you're talking about the you've got a limited jockey colony here. A lot of guys are out of town. So this is his time to shine.
Gulfstream Park race number 8. We need to cover that. You ready? You ready for that?
Yes. Yeah, the 1 mile, 62,000 optional claimer.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm ready to go.
All right, let's run this race.
Okay, let me just pull up my EE here.
That 6 was, you just don't see this at Aqueduct, especially on a, what appears to be a sealed track. You see how far back that 6 won by? Like, that was crazy. That horse had to be 15 lengths back.
Right. Do we know the track was sealed? 100%?
No, we don't.
Right. And again, I did point out that if you notice where there's a lot of water on the track, sloppy's a little different than muddy. With that much water on a track, I've seen in the past, these horses can be flying from out of the clouds. Whereas if it's a muddy, tiring track, usually it's more speed conducive. Usually, like tomorrow, if it's drying out, you'll see it's going to be more speed conducive as the track dries out because it's tougher, it gets toppier.
So the race simulator has the 8 horse, 28%, 9 to 5 EE morning line, top EquinEdge pick, second top GSR, top SOR. I mean, there's a lot pointing towards this horse, although in the last couple of races, it doesn't look very great. Bobby DeBona is 10% off of layoff with layoff horses. What do you think about this 5-year-old?
Well, I'll tell you this. Originally, I liked this horse, but at the price and the way the track is playing with the layoff, I am going to fade this horse, Scotty. I want no part of the 8 coming out of a grade 1 race, long layoff, comeback race. It obviously looks to have a class edge. These are the horses I love beating over the years. I've beaten many of these prohibitive favorites because they need a race or two. Originally, I was looking at a horse. I mean, this is, if you throw the 8 out, it becomes such a wide open race that now, but I've originally was going to focus here on the 5, lure him in. This is the stat I had, and you may be able to confirm. If you could confirm this, that would be great. That this horse is first time Sam Walensky, right? Blinkers on, was at Safi Joseph horse before. So that concerns me you're switching from Safi. Anytime you're switching from Safi to whatever trainer in Gulfstream, at Gulfstream, you're like, oh, okay, well, I'm not too sure what's going on there. But with that being said, this horse has been racing against some good company. Is also off a layoff. I don't know why this horse shipped down. That's Delaware Park. It's probably a weak field. The horse has been a little off form, but has raced into Brooklyn, probably much too far for this horse. Goes Zapper at 1 mile and a 16th. I think this horse, even though it's 1 mile and a 16th, is probably better suited to 1 mile. Blinkers on. So I think there's some changes here that may help this horse. 62.5 claimer might be the right spot. Nice workout on the 16th. But with that being said, the way I've seen the track playing here, speed looks awful tough to catch. I don't love the horse, but I think I may switch over to the 1. Drum roll, please, based on the way the track is playing. Second row off a layoff. This horse has never raced at Gulfstream. Joe D'Angelo's got the horse. Was Chad Summers before, so you're getting a trainer upgrade. This horse is a hard spun and probably will have the lead. Big Martini will be pressing this horse. So I think I changed my mind here. I was originally going to go with the 5, but I'm going to put the 1 on top because it looks like a speed favoring track here. So 1-5.
1-5. All right. 1-5. Well, just some notes, and I'm handicapping this for the first time. It looks like the 7 needs the lead, but it is a horse to watch. It is the EquinEdge long shot. It looks like it's fast enough to get the lead. Let's see. So the 2's pretty fast. Big Martini. It seems to need the lead too, so it might be pressing, but it doesn't have to have the lead. It's got a lot of substance too because it's the it's the second pick, so it's not like this horse can't run. And with horses like the 8, that might have some issues. They're bringing this horse back in a optional claiming. I think especially from that outside post, it's worth trying to beat this horse. And then you take a horse like the 2 horse that has tactical speed, that's going to be sitting behind, ran a good race at this very same surface and distance. The 1 and 2 holes going 1 turn on the dirt at Gulfstream. It used to be super high, like it really, really high number that one of them wins. And the 2 horse has that tactical speed, which I like. The 1 horse does for that matter as well. I think you're onto something with that. And 2 back, the 1 horse, won a non-graded stakes race over at Aqueduct and won by 3 3/4 lengths. What I don't like, it was 83% to win last time out at Parks at 20 cents on the dollar and just stopped. Don't like that. I don't know what to think about this horse. Irad does jump aboard this horse, and the horse is 20% to win. But I think I'm going to take a chance on Big Martini. I don't think this is a bad horse at all, and I think I'll take a chance on the 2. You might even get a price.
Right. So if it's inside speed, you've got the 1, and you've got the 2. I've got the 1. I think I probably will use 2 tickets here today. I'll put the 1 on my main ticket and the 5 on the other. But so you're on the same page. You don't want any. Do you want any part of Steel Sunshine, right?
No. There's something that's amiss there. Okay, so now we need to cover, and then it's the rest is Del Mar races. We need to cover Gulfstream Park 9.
So a magical thing is happening here, Scotty. You're all aglow. You've got like the halo effect around you. So now I'm just going to go with your picks. We're getting I mentioned that we're getting a sign from the universe. You're like, so Scotty is the man today. It looks like.
No, I don't know about that. I'm sending this to Brad. I don't know why, but Woodbine 3 is showing in front of Woodbine 2. Let's see. Bear with me real quickly here. Just send this to Brad. I do this all day long. When you're doing software, it's crazy. Why do people keep saying I look like I'm oh, it's the sun coming in from the window or something like that. Yeah. Woodbine is off.
Yeah, Justin, good luck with everything. Stay safe down there, man. Storms are awful.
Okay. Let's run this race number 9. Did you have an opinion in this race, David?
9 at Gulfstream?
Yeah.
Yeah, not a solid opinion, but we have to pick a winner. So, yeah, I could.
All right.
Don't love it, but got to pick somebody.
Yes, sir.
No, we have a couple scratches here, so let me just get into that. You're running the simulator,
it had something to do with that delay for sure. But the upcoming races should be able to handle that, Mike. So I don't know. That's weird. It looks like a close race, at least when you're running. Look at, well, first of all, in the win percentages, David, look, 3 horses with 21%, and then the 4 horse has a 29%.
Did you notice one thing here, Scotty, about the race setup here? There's really no speed. It's very murky type of pace situation.
You're right. Absolutely right.
With the scratches, I kind of went in a different direction than I originally was going to do. I'm thinking because of the 2 scratches, the 3 and the 6 out, who would have added a little bit of pace to the race here. But I think the 8, again, 1 for 9. This horse is mainly a turf, has been on the turf, switches back to Tapeta. The only synthetic race I see on this horse's PPs are at Woodbine in a maiden special and finished a 6th. Has won at a mile and a 16th. Broke its maiden at Gulfstream in May. 3 races since, shipped down to Colonial Downs and had the lead. I think this horse could go wire to wire. So I'm just not going to look into it too far.
Which one? I'm sorry, I missed it. Which one?
The 8, super attentive, Mark Cassie.
Okay.
So I think with the scratches, the speed, this horse could easily wire this field. So that's what I'm on, the 8. 8 for me.
Okay.
So let's put that in.
I keep coming back to this horse, Hot Blooded, for Mike Maker. Zayas jumps aboard, and let's look at the workouts for this horse. Top EquinEdge pick. Again, a lot of people look at the latest workouts. I'm always looking early to see if there's any indicators of this horse. And there's really nothing that shows that, maybe this horse is doing great or not. It is in for a tag. It's going on the synthetic. It's been on 6 times and it's earned 63,000, which, it's not terrible. All been at Gulfstream Park. Been running on the turf. It always has like middle win percentages and wins once in a while. It looks like that type of race, though. How about the 5 horse? 9-5 on the EE morning line for the 5 horse, but it's going down in win percentage. What did you think of Dear Dad? Did you have an opinion on this horse?
The other
Cassie.
The other Cassie's got a big shot. Can stay close to the pace. Yeah, it's a horse I could use. The question is, excuse me, this horse is racing in an optional. Optional claimer 1, 2, 3, 4 number of times. This horse fires every time out, it seems. So yeah, it's got good form, but I think the 8 may have a little more class here. The Kitten's Joy for Cassie. But yeah, you definitely see that horse. Hot Blooded has a lack of speed. That would be my concern with Hot Blooded. So I want somebody closer to the pace. I mean, I also think that 25-1 morning line. I mean, EE morning line. The horse might be a little cheap. That Money in Motion may be able to stay close to the pace here and be a factor at least for a while.
I'm going to go with the 4 horse.
Hot Blooded.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the 4.
Okay, I've got a trivia question for here, you glowing man.
Okay.
Do you know who sang this song, Hot Blooded?
Hot Blooded.
Hot-blooded, hot-blooded.
I got a fever of 103.
Come on,
baby, you can do more than dance. I'm hot-blooded. Is that Foreigner?
That's Foreigner. Ding, 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 ding. Good answer. Good answer.
All right. All right. See? All right. I'm going with the 4. Gulfstream Park 9. I'm putting in my plays right now while we're going along, so I don't have to do it last minute and make you all wait. You are on the 8. David.
I'm on the 8 big time.
All right. Your first concert ever? Wow. That's a good concert to go to.
Wow. Hey, Mike.
They had that one album that was just amazing. I can't remember what it was called, but it was
back in the 80s. Yeah.
Yeah, there was so many good songs on that album.
Yeah.
What do we got coming up? We've got Gulfstream Park race number 5. So we just have 4 Del Mar races to cover.
All right.
2, 3, 4, and 5. But just to break it up a little bit, how about we try to pick a winner in race number 5 here at Gulfstream?
Okay. 5th race at Gulfstream.
Ben says White Abarrio to place. Best bet. Come in second.
I was going to mention this to Mike, going off the horse playing for a second. Do you know where the lead singer is from of Foreigner? And that's right, Wiz. It's Rochester, New York's Lou Graham. One of the only things that Rochester is famous for. I don't want to insult any lifelong Rochesterians, but that and a garbage plate. And if you don't know what a garbage plate is, I won't even go there. It's a food. It's a food, believe it or not. The biggest slop that you ever throw together, and I'm not a fan. And I just pissed off 80% of the Rochester listeners, who I think we only have one anyway, so 80% of one.
Rachel's song is getting big time bet. Is this deserved or no? I mean, it's still an optional claiming 20. The horse has won 3 of its last 4 races. The only race it lost. And by the way, it was a very good effort. It was a 47 GSR that dropped. It went on the turf. This horse wants no part of turf. In fact, the only poor, it wasn't even a poor performance, but this is a nice horse. Yeah, I could see where this horse would be tough to beat.
Yeah, I'm going with Trombetta here on the 2 victory bench. I don't love the race. And you're getting 7-2, a little bit of an upgrade from a 2-1 morning. So yeah, I'm going with victory badge. It would only strictly be an entertainment play, trying to beat the 2-5. Second choice. I mean, it doesn't give you much, but
let's see here. I mean, wins for fun. 2 horse stays there. 2. I like Confer to be second. Yeah. I like the 6 horse. Yep. The 7 horse is going up big in GSR as well. Back to synthetic, ran a good race. I wouldn't be surprised. By the way, Luca Panici, the veteran jockey, he was aboard a horse I owned in a workout last Saturday for a horse that I own called Sarkis, Sarkis. And Sarkis we got for $50,000 at the OBS sale, and the horse has middle to upper 80s GSRs, David, and is training like a monster. And Luca got off the horse and sent a text to my trainer, Kathleen O'Connell, and said, "This horse is an awesome horse." So, hoping.
Well, now this 7 horse is, if you look at the owner, this is owned by Tom Rooney, and it's probably not great of me, probably not a good decision to not use a horse trained by a guy who gave me a gigantic check. So there's a little loyalty for Tom. Good luck, Tom. You know, and any horse you run, I hope it wins. As long as you have me another check next year, I'm on board with all of your horses.
Let's get it. Well, this horse steadied last time out, the quarter pole weekend up on the turf. The GSR was even lower. So if you throw that out, I mean, like this horse, actually, if you look at the last 3 races at 1 mile and 70 yards on the synthetic, 1, got third by 2 lengths, and got second by 2 1/4 lengths. So 7's a player, the EquinEdge long shot, absolutely. But I'd like it more for the exotics. So I think you could do something like 5 on top over 267 over 267. I know you like Victory Badge, and it certainly doesn't look bad. And it's
not good for 12.
It doesn't have to be second, is my point at 3-1. I'm just saying the 6 or 7 could easily be second, and now you're getting a price, and it could come in 5, 6, 7, 5, 7, 6, that type of thing. So it is worth. I don't think you're beating the 5, but maybe a 5 over 267, 267 trifecta.
Okay. Yeah, again, I'm not giving out any words of wisdom here using a horse who's 1 for 12. I just think this horse is pretty consistent, and I'm getting a little bit of a better, just trying to beat the favorite. And I don't think there's a lot of options here. But let's go Tom Rooney's horse.
Yeah, let's see here what the 5 over 2 is only $3. 5 over 6 is $5. So you know that the 6 is live. And then 5 over 7 is $11. So, and yeah, the 7 horse is pretty fast, but there's a lot of speed in this race. And I think that's the reason why I kind of like the 6 horse. So yeah, I like 5-6 exacta.
5-6. Okay. And I'm on the 2.
Yeah.
I am on the 2.
By the way, pick 5 pull over at Gulfstream Park today. Look at that. Wow. $384,000. Not bad.
But did it have a carryover?
That's what it must have been.
Interesting.
Oldie's got a question for you, David.
Oldie has a question for me.
Yep. He wants to know if Ed Rooney's horse would be named Ferris Bueller.
If it was Tom Rooney's horse, it wouldn't be, but Ed Rooney, yeah, I could see that. Yeah, Ed Rooney, the principal, right? The principal.
Oh, there was. Dan says there was a carryover. Okay.
All right. So about the garbage plate, I saw that Wiz said he's had a garbage plate, and I couldn't even imagine eating one. I've seen them, and I have no interest. So what it is, I don't know if I'm getting this exactly right, but it's like ground beef and potato or macaroni salad, or maybe both on top. There's sauce, French fries, hot sauce. What else? You throw any other crap in there, and that becomes a garbage plate. It's just a amount of food that you would never mix together, and looks rather just disgustingly unappealing to me, in all honesty.
And where did this originate from, David?
It's a big thing in Rochester, New York. It was originated in Rochester.
Not in upstate, just in Rochester.
Just in Rochester, because there's 2 things at Rochester besides Lou Graham. One other thing, they have hot dogs that are called Zweigels, and they're special. They're made right here in Rochester or in the Western New York, Buffalo too. And they're nothing like any hot dog I've had. They're like these gigantic things. They're like sausages, and they call them hot dogs. Red Hots, White Hots. And I'm not a big fan of those. I'm more of a seafood guy. Not seafood. Seafood's not popular up here as much. And I'm like, yeah. So garbage plate, Lou Graham.
You see what Wiz said, David? Look.
Yeah, exactly. Absolutely, my friend. So if you have any problems, forget the Seneca tablets or anything like that. Just have a damn... like we said, it's like almost like going to Taco Bell at 2 a.m. and just.
You can't go to Taco Bell anymore. I mean, it's crazy. I can't eat at Taco Bell anymore. It was my favorite place growing up, and I go eat there one time, and I'm like, that's it, and I'm done for a full day or 2.
Yeah.
Like,
well, what about your West Coast guy? How about Jack in the Box or Jack's? Is it Jack?
I don't know. I don't have the same issues. There's something about Taco Bell that I just think they're. I was reading something that they put all sorts of crap in that food now. So I don't know. All I know is the last 2 times I ate at Taco Bell, it did the same thing that you guys are talking about. It was a constipation buster. Let's just put it that way.
Right. That used to be Friendlies with me. No disparaging Friendlies, but I think Taco Bell. Did you ever look at that ground beef? No wonder. I just have to look at it, and I'm
right.
Yeah.
This show has just gone haywire. I don't know how this all started, but
Yes.
yeah. All right,
Exactly.
let's get this 5 horse to win. You like the 2 for second. I like the 6 and the 7. Prefer the 6, but I think the 7 could be the type of horse that gets third for sure. It'll be near the pace as well. But where do you anticipate seeing the 5? Maybe sitting second or third?
Yeah, that makes sense. All right, good luck, everybody.
We're pretty keen. Left the gate alertly from the outside. Saratoga. So also looking to mix it up in the early stages and classic battles in between. As they move on to that opening turn. Victory Badge tucked right off the top trio fourth. This Rachel song.
I don't know what it is at Gulfstream Park, but like I've got this on full volume. You can barely hear it, right?
Yeah, I had to put up my volume on my.
Yeah, I mean I've got it all the way up.
The opening quarter was 24-1 as Rachel's song.
I tell you what, I didn't expect the 7 to like have a clear lead, but I'm happy with it right now.
And I expected Scotty the 2 to be right on the lead.
Yeah, I did too, especially from that inside post.
Yeah, saving ground, not having the lead, but stalking.
You know, a lot of jockeys, they make such a mistake there, David, because they're not taking advantage of that post position, you know?
Right. You got 24 and 48. They're not going too fast. But again, maybe a little faster for the Tapeta.
6 is struggling in third right now, and the 2's running good. 7's struggling. Yeah, I think it looks like a 5-2 here.
They make their way around the turn. It's Rachel Song who strikes a lead at 1-5. Victory Badge is there to we're outside now second, but Saratoga giving way down at the inside. 3/4 112-1. Rachel Song a big favorite trying to
this 2 might catch the 5.
Not with this 2.
Victory Badge trying to
one time. One time.
Yeah. Go by. Oh, it's a horse race. It's a horse race. Go by this horse. Go by this horse.
Close to home.
All day.
Victory Badge.
257. Nice call, David.
Rachel Song second best. Saratoga was third.
Well, I guess the jockey knew what he was doing.
Yeah, he sat back a little further off the pace, but it is Tapeta. So it looks like maybe you close a little bit more at Tapeta. Tapeta is not the speed favoring track today.
All right, we have about 30 minutes to get 4 races done at Del Mar. You ready?
I'm ready to go.
All right, here we go. I have to shut this thing a little bit. Excuse me 1 second. All right. Let's run this race. I'm going to run it. Let's get to here. Here we go.
Now,
David, I'll be right back, David. You talk about this, and I'll be back in about an hour.
Oh, okay, great. I didn't handicap any of these races. Okay, here we go. I'll have plenty of time to do this. So we got the simulator going here. Oops, we're not. There we go. So it looks like I'm just pulling up my EquinEdge. Just bear with me. And looks like we got the 3 on the lead here, Rosa Parks. First of all, it's a 5 furlong turf race, so normally speed is going to be what you want here. So we have the EquinEdge picks, or the Scotty picks, as Rosa Parks on top, We the Hobby second, and Hula Prancer. And this is again, I'm not usually going to play a race like this, maiden at Del Mar, but it's in the contest. So there was a horse here that is not one of the top picks here, and we do have a scratch, correct? Hula Prancer's out?
4. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I didn't really look at this race too much, but the horse on first glance, when I looked at it right before the show started, was I think I like a horse here with a little bit of a price. Is this horse Andy Mathis's horse, Guilty of Having Fun, just because of the trouble line last out. If you look up, his horse came in at the start and then faded. So this was on turf going 6. And the horse looked like it showed a little speed of pretty fast fractions. So I'm thinking from that outside post, this horse may gun. And the other horses, the 3, 7, and 5, which are the EquinEdge picks, I mean, they all seem logical, but just for a point of getting a price here and having a little fun, I'm going to go with the 8, Guilty of Having Fun. Did you look at this race yet, Scotty?
No.
Like I said, this is very limited. It's a 2-year-old maiden special weight going 5 furlongs. So again, I think my opinion is that you're going to need speed here, right? Speed is going to be the key. Who's got the lead?
Well, I don't know. We're getting lucky today, I guess, and seeing some of these trainers. But Andy Mathis, what do you think his win percentage is with first-time starters?
I'm going to say, maybe 28% or so.
3%.
But okay, second. What's second?
28%.
Right, exactly. Off a trouble line. Yep.
Gets off the rail. And if you look, it was only 4.5 lengths back at the stretch. At the stretch last time out. So can you beat the 3-horse? I mean, I think the 8's going to run much better, but can you beat the 3?
Yeah, but the thing is with the 3, in his first start, this horse did not get the lead, right? And that was a 6 furlong race. So I don't think the horse she's not getting the lead at 5. And I think you need to have a little more speed here. And I think, even though it doesn't show it on the metric, I mean, it looks like the 8's going to be closer to the pace, no?
Let's see here. The 8.
Differential up.
Yeah, going to be about 3 lengths. The 3 is going to be, it's showing the 3 is going to be on, or no, the 7. Yeah, you're right. In the first call. And
right. But
3.
Yep. And also, I wanted to note here that the 8 in its first race had the rail post. So she gunned and then she says came in. I'd like to see a replay of this, but so you got a trouble line, the rail. I don't love the rail as a first time starter. To me, in a 6 furlong turf race, if you got the rail, you're probably going to have to wire the field. So to me, it makes probably a better post for her.
What about the 2?
Let's see. 2. Yeah, the Phil D'Amato horse, working steady. It's
Hernandez.
nothing. Yeah.
I don't think Hernandez is getting on unless this horse can run.
Yeah, probably. Mm-hmm. And the one from the rail. What about the one from the rail?
Yeah. The one.
Yeah, so it's a tough race. Tough, again, a maiden race. A couple first-time starters, so they're hard to judge. But I'll go with the horse with a little bit of experience. And you can't go wrong with that Andy Mathis stat, right?
No, that's true. I'm going with you.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm going with you.
Okay, I'm going to lock you in. That worries me now, but maybe I'll change my mind here. Hold on a second. But no, I appreciate 8 guilty having fun. We're both on that same horse. Makes sense.
All right, race number 3 is event number 7.
Okay, race number 3, and that's the race with a couple of scratches where we've reduced down to a very short field, right? So race 3, let me put this one in. All right, so we have a 4-horse field. 3 horses scratched. We got, hold on a second, 5, 6, 7's out, right?
So it looks like 1 and 4.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. The 3's off a long way off. The 1, 2 back. Now this is a mile. So this horse, the 1, has had some experience early in his career. Had won at a mile at Del Mar, so distance shouldn't be a problem. Mile and 16th. Had a nice second at Santa Anita. But since the layoff, since August 23, this horse has been exclusively sprinting, stretching out again. But there's only 4 horses in this race, and I think I'd probably use to me, it's the 1 or the 4 here.
That's what it looks like.
Yeah, I'd probably just use the 1. I don't think the 2 is a contender at all.
Right.
So, I mean, what's that?
Why would you just use the 1 though? For what reason?
Well, if I'm looking at the last race, this horse is dropping down. And I can throw out that turf race. So basically, if you go back to the last dirt race, for 20,000 claimer. This horse won as the favorite, and stepping up in supposedly in actually priced to 32, but probably a weaker field. It's a shorter field. So I just think this horse could easily just go wire to wire here. Inside post.
Tell me about the 4-horse. I mean, because the horse's form on paper looks pretty darn good.
Horse consistent. Yep. Last race was a mile. It's now we're dealing second race off a layoff, was a lower class. This horse was claimed out of a 16 at Churchill. Sent to Santa Anita, mile race off a near win, and now steps up in good form. Absolutely. I think it's a 2-horse race. I don't particularly care for the 3 coming off the synthetics, and the 2 just looks too slow.
Agreed.
So you're going to use, again, you're going to either go with a, what do you figure, a 6-5 or a 7-5 or something like that. So, I mean, we're not, you got to pick one or the other.
Well, let's see if there's a separator here. So, lifetime. Okay, let's look at this. So the 1-horse has 1 win and 1 second in 2 tries going this surface and distance against a 64 average SOR. But the last 5 races have been against an average of a 55. So clearly went 8 furlongs a while ago. Yeah, in 2022. So I'm not sure that necessarily counts. The 4-horse has 2 second-place finishes. In the last 5 races, the 4-horse has a little bit more class from what it shows. And it looks like the 4-horse, let's see, does it have more speed? Who has more speed? They're pretty equal. I agree with Patrick. He's like, you know, sometimes you just have to go with the trainer, but they're both good trainers. Vladimir Sarin and Mark Gladd are both great.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
The jockey trainer combinations are both pretty good. Probably an advantage, I think, with Fresu. I mean, Ayuso is not a bad. I think this is a very, very tough race. Wow.
Yeah. Well,
right.
I don't think it's as tough as I think it's pretty solid on the 4. Yeah.
You like the 4 or like the 1 better?
No, I like the 1. I'm just going with the 1.
You're going to go with the 1. All right. David's going with the 1.
Stretching out.
David, I got to go with the 4. I think I'm going to try.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm going to go with the 4. Although it's just a gut. I don't have a strong opinion, everybody, on this. I think 1 or 4, one of those is going to win the race. Feel pretty confident about that. But I'm literally flipping a coin right now. So there's no great handicapping here. I have no idea. 4, 1. You know, the one thing we should look at, though, is which horse breaks better, because that's the horse that's going to have the lead, and that would go to the 4-horse. I will say that, David. Right? So
yeah, correct. Mm-hmm.
Right? And the 4 is a much better breaker than the 1, and the 1's on the rail. So maybe there's the advantage we need with the 4. Maybe.
That's true. I think it's either one of the 2, and it's 4-horse field. There's no place wagering, right? So you're only going to get the win price.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. So I mean, it's either going to be you're either going to get 410 or 380. So it's not going to be much of a difference.
Serena's 17% off the layoff. All right, let's run this, and I'll be right back.
Okay. You have some of that Taco Bell?
No Taco Bell.
Okay. All right, 4th race at Del Mar. We've got, if I pull up my notes, a little slow here. So just trying to get my second entry into the qualifier. And I will just, I'm going to pass on handicapping this race because I just have a hunch play here that I can't go against. And I'll disclose it when Scotty comes back to take the anticipation away. I don't want to. So the bottom line, we've got a 5-furlong turf sprint again, another turf sprint. This is an optional claimer for 50. And it's a rather wide open race. And let me just pull up my EquinEdge. I always like to look at the pace metric to see how we shape up here. So we've got, yeah, it makes sense. It's got a couple of horses here. They've got some speed. We got the 5 with blinkers on, who should show a little more speed, which is a good thing. And the top pace metric is Teddy's Triumph with 61. This horse should be on the lead. Has a long layoff line, though. This horse hasn't been out since November 5th of 2023. So normally, that's a horse I would probably pass on. I don't like those long layoffs coming back in a quick sprint like that. We've got the other pace factor is SY Dream, and this horse just looks a little cheap to me. Just really sprinting in these. Yeah, I mean, this is a horse that I think will have the lead or be pressing, but it really is not going to hold on. It's not a horse I'm a big fan of. Belmont Bill's got a chance here, but he's 1 for 19 lifetime with 7 seconds. Not exactly the winning profile, right? But I like I said, I have no other choice to make a hunch play here. So I'm on the 8 will be, and it's just I'll let Scotty do his analysis, but I can't resist this hunch play on both tickets. So I'll let Scotty, I'll let you take the ball here, because I just went over the pace scenario bit here, and I just disclosed to the listeners that I have no choice. I'm locked into a hunch play here, and I can't go against it because I wouldn't be able to look myself in the mirror. So.
Okay, so you've got the 8.
How'd you know?
It's your type of horse.
Is it as a hunch play?
Yeah.
Will be.
It's got 3 layoff lines.
Yeah. I didn't even look at the past performances. So it's
I believe it.
Strictly a hunch play. So let me just tell you the quick hunch play. That reason it is a hunch play. When I saw the name of this horse, Will Be,
yeah,
we grew up in Ronkonkoma, which is on Long Island. And my father used to love his favorite tavern where he hung out. Right near an OTB, he'd play the horses with his little pencils and go to the bar. And he was there. He was a fixture in that place. And the name of the place was Wilby's. And I can't possibly. My father would just come back and haunt me if I didn't play a horse named Wilby. So there we go. That's it.
1,000%.
Matt Miller will tell you, what the hell? Sometimes you play a hunch play. But
I agree.
You're usually not a hunch play at 5-2, but I'm going with it. I can't let that horse beat me. Just total hunch play. So I'll let you do the professional analysis here.
Well, I mean, the horse ran good 3 back at a 54 GSR, but it's dropping to a 45 GSR.
Mm-hmm.
I will say that what I do like about, first of all, it's 51%. So it's going up in GSR.
Yeah.
They're down in I'm sorry, it's 45 GSR, which is low, but the win percentage is 51%. That goes up, and it's going from a 60 SOR down to a 52 SOR. So, and I don't exactly love the post position, but I'm always rooting for you, my friend. But I'm going to go away from you. And I'm gonna take a chance with Carla Gaines and Ricardo Gonzalez on the 5 horse, the EquinEdge long shot, who's 6-1 on the EE morning line. And whenever I think a favorite is kind of vulnerable, then I'll go with a horse like that. So I'm going to go with the 6. The other thing is the interesting one too is Belmont Bill, the 2. Mm-hmm. This horse has a lot of speed, but there's a lot of speed in this race too. And the horse only has 1 win in 19 races. So, and I like the GSR too, by the way, of the 5. So yeah, I got to go with the 5 horse. That's going to be my play.
Okay, so Scotty's on the 5, and that if I handicap the race, I do like that horse too. I've got maybe about 8 minutes to decide whether I'm going to use the 8 on both tickets or just a hunch play on one, and the 5 would be my other horse. The concern I had about the 5, actually, the one thing I like is third race over layoff. Has never. Hold on a second. has never won on the turf. Blinkers on, probably show a little more speed. Yeah, it's logical. But the concern I have is stepping up from an optional claimer 20 to 50, where the age is dropping down from staying the same level, 40, 50 claimer.
Horses are coming on to the track right now over at Gulfstream Park for this 6th race. This begins the qualifiers, so get your qualifiers in. David, this is our last race we have to cover, and then we'll watch that race. The 6-horse shows winning this race, Running Super. It's also a horse to watch. It's 9-2 on the EE morning line. It is for Vladimir Serin. Carmona is the jockey. I think Seraphin Corona is not a bad jockey, actually. He's pretty darn good, better than the 10% might suggest. What do you think?
Okay. In all honesty, I struggled after my my brief look at this race, and I thought that the way to go was just go with a wire-to-wire job here, and that would be the 2 Matina off a layoff from Mark Glatt. Glatt's had 7 winners at the meet, right? 6 furlongs, and that now is going from turf to dirt. I'm a big fan of Not This Times, but I'm not sure this horse didn't really run so well, showed some brief speed on the turf, and now drops down into a 40 dirt race. So I don't know what to think. Let me just see what the one also is. Well, one's cutting back, also showed speed. There's no world beaters in here. Yeah, I think I'd stick with the 2 to try a wire job here.
This is a very hard race.
Yeah, I'm looking. It's real spotty. 7-horse field. Looks like any one of them can win. I mean, She's No Angel's got a couple of good works on October 30th and November 6th. Both bullets off a layoff. Cuts back from a mile. Drops from a maiden to a 40. There's a street sense. This horse, and dirt should be fine. Off a 10. Had a 10 post last time out. But doesn't look like she can run.
So 2 races back for the 1 horse above all else. This horse ran in a 5 furlong race and was right up there showing speed. Now, why is that significant? Because 5 furlongs on the turf are some of the fastest horses on the grounds. And this horse at the stretch was only a length and a half back and ended up getting 7th by 4 3/4 lengths against a much, much tougher field. Then dropped in going 8 furlongs, going longer, and showed a bunch of speed, and at the stretch was right there, and now cuts back, drops in class. In a race where it looks wide open, maybe take a horse like that. I think you have to consider the 3-horse too. JJ Hernandez is aboard for Richard Baltus. By the way, this horse is 12-1 on the odds makers morning line, is 23%, EquinEdge long shot, and 5-2 on the EE morning line. So it's between those 2 horses for me. The problem with the 3-horse, it's had 3 straight layoff lines, but it's dropping big time in class. And
the concern is, even though she's got a couple of bullet workouts, based on those finishes, maybe she can't run.
I mean, maybe. I don't think I can use the 6-horse, only because this horse didn't seem to have any excuses last time out, and was the big favorite, was 35% and just stopped. Now it's 9-2 EE morning line. I just can't go with that horse. Now, what about a horse like Guitar Girl? This one seems to need the lead for its best. I mean, it could be, you know what I mean? The trainer is only 4%.
Yeah.
I'd
rather go with Mark Glatt or Carla Gaines with a 2 or the 1, personally. Just trainer angle alone. And what about, the 6 is still in? No.
Yeah, it is. Okay. Just to see what the race looked like.
Gotcha. Yeah, without
if you threw the 5 and the 6 out.
Gotcha. Mm-hmm.
And the 4 horses right there, Parade Down Broad. What about this horse? I mean, a couple of layoff lines. Bob Hess Jr. takes over. He's only 7% off of the claim, it looks like, right? Off claim, yes.
Right, and comes from Churchill, comes from Gulfstream, a long layoff. Yeah, a lot of spotty form here. To me, it looks like the horses that I'd be comfortable with are either the 2 or the 1.
Yeah, for me, the 1, 2, or 3, the 7 horses GSR drops. This is a big, this is a pretty darn big drop for the 3 horse. She's No Angel.
Yeah, but if you look at the past, I mean, look at her last race: 10th, 23 lengths out, 8th, 12 lengths out, 6th, 20 lengths behind.
No doubt about it. But 2 races, the last 2 races broke bad, and at the stretch wasn't bad considering, right, the level of competition the horse was facing. So, and Hernandez jumps aboard here as well. I kind of like the 1 a little bit, but I think I'm going to take a risk and go with the 3 horse.
All right. So Scotty's on a 3. I give you credit for taking that horse that doesn't look like he can run. And, well, you've got an angle, 2 bullet workouts and a drop down. But again, you're right. It's the biggest drop down in racing, maiden special, a maiden 40 in a weak field. And sometimes these horses just like, how did this horse can run? So maybe can still run with those workouts, but so it's the 3 for Scotty, and it's the 2 on 1 ticket for me, and the 1 on the other. 2-1.
All right.
So I think that was the last of them, right? No, we have
that
one
was
more.
it. That was it. They're probably about 3 minutes from starting the 6th race. They are going into the gate for race number 3 at Woodbine. So let's see here. All right, let's get to Gulfstream Park, race number 6. Find issue. Let's see here. All right.
Okay, who won that?
So I like the 6 horse Lasso, who's 3-1 right now. You're on the 5 horse Turn Up the Trees. That horse is 9-2. So both our horses are getting play. My other horse was the 2 horse Lace Up, who not surprisingly is the favorite. But, whenever this horse has been in contention, it's stopped late. And that's just always for me a really big sign. And I'm not sure it likes 7 furlongs. So, and that's what it's getting here again. But, and the 8 horse has no speed, draws out outside post. That's not really a recipe for success here at this track. So, what does it leave me? It leaves us with the 5 and the 6. I wouldn't, 5, 6 Exactabox might not be a bad idea. Right?
Yeah.
Right? 7
No,
to
I
2,
can see that.
5 to 1.
Let me just pull up the race here. This is Gulfstream, so you can show the race here. For some reason, I can't get off Aqueduct here.
It's now post time, 6th race.
All right, they're starting to load into the gate, as they say.
Followed by Turn Up the Trees and Lace Up. Lasso is down.
It's been a lot of fun, David, this show.
Yeah, no.
Even though you gave me a hard time in this show, I still appreciate.
Hold on a second. Time out here. I gave you a hard time. You were just you were brutal in the beginning. First of all, you made fun of my accent.
You're like a quiet killer.
There you go. You made fun of my accent. Now I'm going to prove you that I'm going to trounce you in this NHC qualifier.
Listen, okay. So you know what you just did? You just cut me off. Did you see that? You just cut my horse off.
Awesome Train loaded wide there early in 3rd. His Lace Up set at the inside 4th.
Okay, that's a good thing. That's your payback.
Yeah, okay.
Boy, I tell you right now, I have the 5 on 1 ticket and a 3 on the other. 5 on my main ticket. I use the 3 on the second ticket. Just because of the speed.
Back to Mr. Scatter. And even further back is the back marker, Secret Lovers. The
5's running beautifully at 5-1.
Turn Up the Trees on top onto the far turn. Lace Up. Started to tighten up there in second as Awesome Train moves up 3 wide, just a length off the lead right now. Shady World struggling to get at the inside fourth as Lasso starts to get in gear and quickly begins to advance wide. 3 in front of Manhattan Boy. And it's still 10 further back to Mr. Scatter and far back to Secret Lover. The half is 46-1. They move towards the top of the stretch. Turn up the trees, trying to turn away the challengers. But here's Awesome Train down the center. The Awesome Train has taken over the lead. Lasso moves up there on his outside as Turn Up the Trees tries to battle on down at the inside.
Now the 5 packed it in.
Final 1/8 of a mile. It's Awesome Train who has taken over and kicked clear to a 3-length
Yeah,
advantage.
4 ran good. 6 ran a huge race considering
close to home. Awesome Train.
the break
Yes.
that it had. 4.65
Turn Up the Trees finished third. Lace Up
is
was
your order of
24-2.
finish. Well, that was a lot of fun.
Train at a good price. Yes, I had a blast. Yep. Just even though you were kind of brutal in the beginning, and hold on, why it looks so.
I love you. You know
I'm
that.
getting too close to the screen here. Yeah, I got you. Same here. It's all in good fun. All in good fun. But yeah.
Well, thank you,
Thanks
everybody.
for everybody
Yeah.
Just one quick question, Scotty.
Yes,
I don't mean to interrupt you. Bill, Friendly Farms in Ronkonkoma, was that on Hawkins Avenue or Ronkonkoma? I think it was on Hawkins Avenue. Is that the one? If you're still with us. Bill
Thank you,
might not be with us.
Patrick. Thank you, Chris.
Thanks,
But you guys, they make the show. Like when all
Absolutely.
in the chat, right? It just, I think we would all
Oh, yeah.
agree when the chat's going, the show's usually got really good energy and so well. I wish you all. Go ahead.
We got a bunch of horse players here who know what they're doing too. So sometimes we're overlooking things, and it's valuable for the listeners to be pointing things out to us that we may have overlooked. And every time, it is usually all valuable information that we're getting from you guys. So thank you so much. It's great. Thanks.
Road to the NHC. Road to the NHC is tomorrow. So with Oldie, Chris, and Justin. So
The stretch run.
The stretch run. Yeah, the stretch run. Excuse me. The stretch run, and then. Next week, we're going to be off. I don't think we're off. Well, we're going to take off next week, all of next week, right? I'm assuming we're not doing Friday. You want to do Friday?
Well, it's Friday. I'm going to be away. So
okay.
Thursday,
so we're off on Friday. Okay.
Yeah.
And then, so Saturday, I think they're doing the stretch run. They'll probably do it. Those guys are pretty diehard. And then, but the week after, we have the show with Dave, so that the EquinEdge Ice Cold.
Ice Cold.
Right? And then that's the Thursday, we're going to have the new show Head to Head. So we got a couple new shows there, the EquinEdge Ice Cold, and then the Head to Head on Thursday. Then Thursday night, the weekend preview show. Then our show 2 Fridays from now. And that's at about 11:15, 11:30 Eastern time, Road to the NHC. And of course, then on Saturday, the stretch run. So we've got 5 shows starting in a couple of weeks from now per week. So that's just tremendous, and couldn't do it without all the EquinEdge users and the community. So David, I know I won't most likely talk to you before. The best of Thanksgivings to you and blessings to you and your family, my friend.
Same to you and your family. Have a safe and fruitful Thanksgiving, as they say, and good luck in your horse playing, and don't eat too much turkey, and don't go to Taco Bell after whatever you do. Thanksgiving, the day after Thanksgiving, do not go to Taco Bell because you're gonna have a full food.
I don't think there's any worry about that. That's probably not going to happen anytime soon. Before we go, when are you going to be out here in Florida?
It's up in the air right now, but likely the first or second week of January.
Okay.
Just in time for the championship meet beginning. Yeah.
All right. Well, looking forward to that. Are you going to play in the Pegasus?
Yes, that's the plan. That's the plan. I was actually just talking to Chris. I'm like, I had a decision to make whether I'm buying reserve seats for just a very pricey amount, but I think it's more likely I'll just enter the contest and play on track.
Bill answered your question and said it was 50 years ago.
Yeah, I know. Same about here. It's about 40 years ago for me. So, but thanks for pointing it out. I remember the place. I just don't exactly remember where it was. So, all right.
All right, you guys. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. And
Happy Thanksgiving.
We'll see you in a few weeks.
See you in a few weeks.
All right. Bye.
Bye.